get scared now. I'ma destroy you when I'm forth, I can tear it down. If you ain't tuned into the channel, keep your head down. Cut the fix up with some Xbox babies, put the switch up. See me gearing up for war, don't get it mixed up. I come in peace, kid. I'm bringing commentary and the new releases. I put them hours in to get prepared now. We play on expert level, don't get scared now. I'ma destroy you when I'm forth, I can tear it down. If you ain't tuned into the channel, keep your head down.
Good evening. That was my best, you know. Yeah. Anyway, what's up, folks? Welcome to The Fix. You're here with myself, Infinite Umbra, and unfortunately, no Danny tonight, but we are joined, of course, by the magnificent Crusader. Crusader, what's up with you, brother? How have you been?
I've been pretty good. So, last week played some Gears of War Reloaded with a good friend of mine who I've known for well over a decade. We played the whole thing in co-op, and I have been playing Star Wars Outlaws otherwise. I just finished the base game and one of the DLCs last night. Probably finish the other DLC tomorrow, and then I'll be done with the game.
Nice, nice.
I really like it. I'm playing it post they did all that quality of life stuff, especially with the stealth being not as big of a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Had I played the launch version, I probably would have hated it.
Okay. But so, what was you had a game you asked? I know you asked you just typically do like a poll question of what to play next. What was the one that won that?
I don't remember what won the last one.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't. It's been a little while. I know the next game I'm probably gonna play is Chronos: The New Dawn.
Was it? You know what? Was it? Did it involve? I think South of Midnight in it.
Oh, yes. Doom the Dark Ages one. I actually 100% at Doom the Dark Ages.
Yeah. Okay. So how did
I
you
really
feel
liked
about
Doom
it?
the Dark Ages.
See, me too. Right? Like a lot of people kind of were kind of like, eh. I thought it was excellent. Yeah, I thought it was excellent.
It's actually, of the three of them, it's my favorite. One of the things I really like about id Software's Doom series is that literally all three of the new ones since 2016 have been very different.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in the same subgenre for sure, but they're all really different in the exact methodology how they play. Like the first one was kind of just like your average reimagined boomer shooter. And then Eternal was super fast-paced, super movement-focused. And then Doom the Dark Ages was this, weird parry-focused system. And I really liked Doom the Dark Ages parry system.
I do, too. I felt like Captain America. You're right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it feels like the one thing that I missed in the game was the glory kills. That was, the one thing that I think Eternal had over Dark Ages was just, the sheer hilariousness of the glory kills.
Yeah, for sure. That's the way I felt about it personally. I thought, for me, the first one, the 2016 game or 18, one of the two.
It's 16.
16. I think that one and the Dark Ages are the two best, and followed up by Eternal. I just didn't care for the whole idea of having to be forced into a style of playing to earn, ammo and such. I didn't like that versus kind of the freedom the other two give you. I thought they just felt more, you had more agency, it felt like, and it also gave more of a power, fed into the power fantasy of what Doomslayer is, right? He's not constrained by that. He's just ripping and tearing as he pleases, and Eternal kind of forces you into a play style that I don't like. I don't want to run around just, I have to do this like this. I don't like that.
Sure.
Yeah. But that's cool. Yeah, did you get a chance to download Silksong?
I actually was testing it. I have yet to play the first one, so I need to play Hollow Knight itself first.
Okay.
But I've been following it because it is like a massive moment in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of moments that can break every store at the same time. So like, I did download it. I was testing to see if you could download it with your mobile phone because I couldn't get the store to work anywhere else, and I tested and you could. Now you can just get it to download anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. I was experiencing some issue earlier when I tried to get it. This game, by the way, Gray, is Metal Eden. You know what's crazy, by the way? I had Shinobi, The Art of Vengeance, which I'm going to do a review for, propped or set to play for tonight's show. I had like 11 point whatever gigabytes of edited footage I put together real nice. I had it ready and prepared. I moved it to my external hard drive to move it over to this to my PC, to my podcasting PC as I call it. And using OneDrive, somehow OneDrive messed it up and erased it from my hard drive. I don't know quite how, but it did. And I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed when I found out. Anyway, that said, yes, this is Metal Eden Gray, and I am going to be getting this soon as well. It's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm debating myself between this and Chronos: The New Dawn. Which one I want to get both of them, and I'm debating which one I'm going to get first. I think I'm going to get Chronos: The New Dawn first because like I've been really craving a Dead Space-like game, and it is like Dead Space-like the Dead Space-like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's actually Chronos is on my list as well. Yeah, you nerds, that's what it was. I've had this issue with OneDrive before. I did delete, Gray, I deleted the file off of the old PC thinking, okay, it's on my hard drive, I'm good to go. And what I should have done, I think, is maybe unplug it first and then do that. I don't know. But it shouldn't. I don't like that OneDrive has this weird thing the way it's set up that if you delete it off the PC, the way it's connected, it's like shared somehow into the PC.
So OneDrive is basically the equivalent of like a home drive back in the day when you would have like a if you ever at like school or work had a like central hard drive that you save stuff to and it would come with you to any computer. It's basically a digital version of that. So when you delete something from that, it deletes all instances of that because it's one drive. That's the whole point. You might be able to get it from your OneDrive trash can.
I was thinking about that, but I think I stopped.
I can help you with that.
Yeah, well, I might
do this for a living.
I might have to talk with. I thought you did. I forgot that you did it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do with 365 stuff for a living.
Yeah, man. I was thinking of. I think though that the problem is that I think I stopped syncing, so it might have disconnected it from that to do so. So I don't know. I don't know. I just know that it annoys me because it's like, it's like, yo, why are you deleting this off of this? And I didn't want you to delete. I don't know. I just like, I hate that it's doing like other actions when I delete it off one thing and it's like, oh, it's all shared. So all of it's going. It's like, oh, leave me alone. I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling like an old man. This newfangled technology is getting me, Crusader.
Yeah. So OneDrive / SkyDrive / SharePoint, which have all been related. Actually, SkyDrive became OneDrive, and SharePoint is kind of like advanced OneDrive. They're all kind of, they're okay. I don't like them for home use. I do like them for business use. So I actually have OneDrive completely turned off on my computer, except for a specific separate folder that I've designated for it to sync.
Okay.
I turn it off so that it doesn't touch my documents, my photos, or my
videos,
or my desktop because it breaks things.
I have to talk to you about that then.
Yeah, we can go over stuff like that.
Yeah, I had Kay Asante helping me with it, and I thought I got rid of the issue, but apparently not. Yeah, nerds, I'll have to do something. I'm gonna fix it up. But I got my brother Crusader here to help me out with that now. So yeah. But salute to everybody. I see you, King Webb. Biff, what's up? Of course, nerds, I shouted you out already, of course, brother. Punty, what's up? Talos, what's up, Talos Ray? Who else did I see here? Let me scroll up a little bit. I thought I saw, Spider, what's up? Spider's always here. Spider, shout out to you. Appreciate you. And Lawrence Davenport, you came back. Appreciate you. Oh, Ponte, you were the first one here tonight. I see you. Yeah, thank you all for coming through. If you all haven't done so, if you could share out my tweet on Twitter about tonight's show to get it out there and get some notice, I would appreciate that, as well as if you could hit the like button. As for myself, gaming-wise, I got a good hour and a half in of Hollow Knight Silksong, and I'll go into detail about that, I guess, when we get to the discussion for it. But, more greatness from them. So much happened today because of Silksong. I did not expect such a thing. I don't know if I've ever witnessed such
I've never seen it break every store. Never.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? We'll get into that, I guess, as one of the main topics in a while. But, it's crazy. Like, I was like, whoa, everything crashed.
Yeah. Do we want to get our one guest in here?
Absolutely. I've already allowed entrance.
Oh, you've had a lot of entrance? All right, I'll let him know.
Let me send an invite to this person specifically. Maybe that'll help. Hold on. If it will find them. Okay, I do not. Oh, there it is.
There he goes. All right.
There we go. So,
for those of you who followed me on TXR, you may notice who has joined tonight. It is the wonderful Dotsrus or Dots RTS. How you doing, bud?
I feel like most people don't want to remember me, but that's all right. That's what we're here for.
Why would they not want to remember you, man? What's up with that?
I don't know. I'm just making fun. How are you guys doing?
We're all right, man. We're all right. How about yourself?
Hell yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Well, while everyone is enjoying their big old Silksong drop, I'm just enjoying the Space Marine 2 update. So everyone gets different things today.
Absolutely.
Did that come out today?
Yeah, the I think it's patch 10.0. It's like the full year anniversary patch.
It's like that Crucible thing, right? With the Crusader thing. I saw the armor for it.
They have a Black Templar skin, and then they have Imperial Fists,
okay.
The yellow boys. So so it's a lot of Imperial Fist, Black Templar stuff this update, and then obviously the new season pass drop for all the new skins that are going to come out later in the year.
Nice.
New missions, new weapons, a new PvP mode where it's chaos versus chaos. So it's a lot of cool stuff.
It's interesting. I have yet to play Space Marines 2.
It's
great.
It's 50% off right now.
It's 50%. I own them both on Steam now. I just
haven't.
Okay. Yeah, I just haven't.
Well, then for you in the comments, it's 50% off.
There you go.
It is. They are both really good games. I actually the remaster is okay. I actually think that the original remaster on PC, the Anniversary Edition, is probably better. If you're on console, you don't have a choice.
Right.
But 2 is awesome. They are like Gears of War if there wasn't cover.
I've seen that, and I've seen the gameplay. It does give you that vibe of Gears, like a much more gritty version.
It is. They are very, very fun games.
Yeah. I wish it had like online co-op campaign. That would be pretty cool.
2 does.
2 does have that?
Mm-hmm. 2 does. 1 does not.
3 player.
Yeah, you up to 3 players in for the campaign.
I thought it was limited to like multiplayer. Okay, that's cool then.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So let me first properly introduce you though. Thank you for joining us, by the way. So Dot, is that fine to just call you Dot or?
Dots is what most people go with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dots, brother, thank you for joining. Appreciate you coming in last second like this. Tell the good folks, you mentioned a bit of it, but tell the good folks what you have been up to as far as whatever, been gaming, TV, reading a book, whatever it may be.
Yeah. So ever since my the hiatus of TXR, I have been. I mean, I'm still dots RTS. All the RTS games are my fix. Which ironically, oh my gosh, more Warhammer, Dawn of War 4 announcement, huge news. But like, I'm sticking with the RTSs. Age of Mythology still putting out content. It's got the Japanese DLC coming out this month, so like I've been hyping up for that.
I'm playing that too.
Yeah, no. Crusader and I love the Arena of the Gods mode.
Yep.
They need to put more in it. But yeah, I've been jumping between that. I've been playing Mecha Break since that came out. They just came out with an actual like PvE mode, even though it's limited to only being able to do it 3 times a week, which is weird, but whatever. It's a free game. And Space Marine 2's been big. I am happy to announce that I have gone through a retirement from Destiny 2 ever since the final shape finally ended, and I've been very strong at keeping up on that. Crusader has convinced me that the only reason I will return is if they bring back some more old raids, which that's not looking likely with Bungie's current state of affairs and direction. But that's...
So when we had Crusader on in the past, he was our resident Destiny.
I have also not been playing. I have yet to play the new expansion.
Okay, so I was going to say, did he take you from the Church of Destiny too? Because I remember him speaking about it here and going into detail.
At some point, I'm going to play the campaigns, but I'm definitely retiring from my grinding days unless some major stuff changes. Okay. Right now, like ever since the newest expansion, there has been a lot of just nonsense in the game. A lot of bugs, really bad development choices for progression. So I have been staying away. I have heard, though, that the mobile game that they just released with NetEase is actually pretty fire. You can emulate it on PC. Our one friend who is the biggest Destiny fiend in our friend group, he has been playing Destiny Rising nonstop.
You all are the group of Destiny
truly,
child, I should
truly,
say.
Card games on Sparrows.
Yeah, it was our clan was card games on Sparrows.
Destiny's children. That's what I should call you guys. No, that's cool. Yeah, man, that's dope. Did you have any other things you have been into, Dots, or was that about it for you?
Well, outside of video games, I've actually been painting, assembling, and playing Warhammer the tabletop.
Oh, and I got to introduce you to my brother, Morty. Morty is big on that, man. Morty 4. He loves all the painting and the Warhammer stuff, and like he's big on it. Like I've never really been big into that type of stuff, but he has the board game. He has, all the pieces. He told me, I think he says he spent upwards of tens of thousands for all.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to introduce you guys. You all can be toxic and Warhammer together.
Surprisingly not as toxic as other communities out there.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to slander anybody.
Oh, I got one question for you that he put me on, learning the lore. What do you feel about I don't want to say this wrong, but female Warhammer members? I'm not sure how quite.
The female Custodes?
Custodes, yeah.
It's a non-issue.
Okay. Because I saw some people up in arms about it.
But what people also forget is that in the faction of the Custodes faction, there were already female characters. There was the Sisters of Silence, which is like a subsect of the Custodes, but if you play on the tabletop, they are in that army. So they already had strong, powerful female characters in the faction. Yeah, they had a whole different lore thing about them, and they were capitalized on the fact that they were mute. They're all mute female blanks which means that if you are a psyker and you're near them, you lose the ability to use any psychic powers because like they have this aura around them.
What do you mean they're
But, like-
mute? Like they couldn't talk?
They can't
Like
talk, yeah.
they are literally mute. They use sign language to speak.
Oh wow! So the
They're
actual
called the
females they
Sisters of
had,
Silence.
the females they
Sisters
had
of
in the
Silence,
game, they were
literally.
forced into shedding up. Ain't that something? How sexist are they in this game? No, I'm joking.
That was old lore too, wasn't it? Like
No, that's Sisters
old-
of Silence
new?
is current lore.
The old lore
the new
forced the
thing-
ladies to shut up. Ain't that something?
The new lore was that there's female custodies, which are the big golden warriors
Right.
that defend the emperor. That's new information, but it's also a non-issue.
Mhm.
I think that if people were going to get upset about something like right now in the community, people don't really talk about it except for like the ones that everyone else finds annoying.
Okay.
If they say there's now female space marines, that would be a lot more of a
An
a
issue.
yelling point. But once
Okay.
again, I play Necrons. I like skeleton robot dudes. I don't really care. I'm having a good time with my lore.
When I see some of the lore, I'm like, what is going on in this universe? You got like demon rats, and I'm like, what? I don't know. I don't understand where to start. You got demon rats and
Demon
skeletal
rats are in
warriors
the fantasy version too. They're not even in 40K.
Oh, okay. Because I'm not. Yeah, I'm. It's so much going on in that universe and different, or license or IP or whatever. I'm confused.
yeah, because there's the fantasy version, which is just
There's
Warhammer.
There's two
Age of
fantasy
Sigmar.
versions.
Oh, there's two. I did not know that.
There's Warhammer, the old world, which is like the original fantasy, and then in the lore of that, Chaos won and destroyed the universe,
right.
and so Sigmar reset the timeline,
Right.
and now there's Age of Sigmar, which is
Sigmar.
a different lore, and
then
there's
40K
40K,
is
which
the
is
space. Yeah.
unconnected space sci-fi.
Okay, yeah. I can tell you right now, you and Morty, he would have a nice. I need to set you all up for a play date. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, that's great. Again, great to have you on. Let's see how we do tonight. We got a bunch of great topics to talk about tonight. What we do here is we got like a free flowing style of how we approach it, and so we're going to do the news roundup in a second. And Crusader will be stepping in as the news rounder, introducing the topics, and we will feed into that if you have anything to share on what's shared. If you have very minimal, don't worry about it if you don't really want to share anything. And me and Crusader Crusader can talk with the best of them, so I already know
True.
I can kind of sit back and just monitor everything else back here that I'm doing on my side if I wanted to. But yeah, feel free to jump in or not. And then when we move to the main topics, I will go to you on whatever for that. As for myself, excuse me for 1 second. That right there was a Pepsi burp, and I didn't want that captured on it.
Get some of that Beppis in you.
That was the good old Pepsi burp. I had to, mute myself on that. So yeah,
It's okay. I got an A&W on me right now.
I have a
okay.
sun kissed in front of me.
You're on your way. You'll be burping soon enough.
Crusader, get the hell out of here with that. You're a Coke guy.
Hey, let them
We're an orange soda tonight. What can I say?
Yeah, let's switch it up to some root beer for the night. But yeah, myself, I had been enjoying a ton of games. I see you, Abdel. Much like my brother Abdel here, I beat Shinobi. I am working on that right now, by the way, Abdel, for the under 10 hour achievement. I have 2 left. That one and getting S rank on everything. That's it, and I'm done with it. But I will have to say Shinobi is a 9 out of 10 for me. Loved it. I'm doing a written review for it soon that I'll be posting on the GCP blog. Shout out to Kay Asante. And I got like I said, about an hour and a half into Silksong today, if you will. And I'm already loving it. It has the same charm that the first game had in it. I cannot wait to do more. It is daunting to jump back into that world because if anyone has played the first one, it's I call it the Dark Souls of Metroidvanias. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to get back into that. What did you say, Gray? Don't lie, Umbra. You will lie back and play again. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends. Abdul, I don't blame you. Silksong seems like it's going to take a minute, just based off what I've seen already. Yeah,
About the length of the complete edition of Hollow Knight, from what I'm seeing.
yeah, and if you played that one, I think the original Hollow Knight, depending on how you play, the way I play in Metroidvanias, I tend to take upwards of 50 to 60 hours because I'm looking at every nook and cranny to make sure to do everything. And to be honest, it's challenging as hell. Like Hollow Knight, it's not some simple little game. Especially if you get the DLC that added the I forgot what was it, the Crucible? I forgot what they called it. So yeah, that said, Team Jerry, shout out to them. Congratulations to them. I can only imagine what they've sold through already, and that's including the Game Pass bag. So yeah, I guess a few narratives have kind of been shattered today. Speaking of that, but yeah, other than that, I had, what else did I play? So Shinobi, it was Silksong, and it was something else, but I cannot quite put my finger on it. That doesn't matter. No, those are the two I have been doing. And as far as watching, what did I start? Oh, I was told about this documentary on Netflix called The Unknown Number. Have you all heard of that?
Mm-mm.
So apparently
I have not.
it's this real documentary thing about this catfish and how it led to, I believe, some people being abducted. I'm not sure if they were killed or whatever the case was, but it's a real story apparently, and it's called The Unknown Number, a catfish story or something like that on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's and apparently the person who perpetrated it, the catfisher, they are being interviewed in in real time by the documenter. I gotta see this and see what it's about. But yeah, I have not played Snake Eater yet, Abdel. I will get it eventually. Next on my list, I do want to get through Ragebound as well before I really move on to anything else. I want to get both the Ninja games out of the way. But other than that, man, yeah, a lot more to go. We got a ton of games. Much Crusader, me and Crusader were talking earlier in chats, and
So much
I know
crap
you.
coming out.
I know you have like a 300. You said 300 games in back game plus. In
I
your
have 300
backlog?
games in my backlog right now, and like
Yeah.
180 on my wish list.
Yeah. So I relate to you. I have 100 and something, maybe 45 or something on my wish list right now on Steam. My backlog, I have never numbered it, but I can only imagine how insane it looks considering Xbox and Steam now for me. So, yeah. That said, let's move to the news roundup, fellas.
All right. So, the first thing I have on this list is the most important news. And by that I mean I hate it, and that there's a live action movie based on Call of Duty coming between Paramount and Activision. And Paramount also has like TV rights and some other things should the movie do well. We are either going to see something cool in the vein of the Top Gun reboot if they get the similar production people to do it, or we're going to get the greatest 4 out of 10 movie I've ever seen.
I feel like with Call of Duty being such a big IP, that there's a good chance of them getting it right just based off the strength of the IP. Like they have more incentive to do well by it, and I'm sure the budget for it will be appropriate as well. And I mean,
I would have said that about Halo, and they didn't do it very good with Halo.
That is true. That is the worrisome part. And this is where I would have been more confident if it was like Amazon. And I've said this before, like if it was Amazon, I'd have been like, oh, we good. Amazon, for whatever reason, they have, and yeah, Ponty, that's the name of it. Amazon has a knack for getting stuff right lately. I've noticed. Have you all noticed not only just the budget, because clearly we know Amazon has tons of money, but aside from just the production values, they seem to get the actual essence of whatever property really well. Like look at the Lord of the Rings. look
I
at.
liked the Lord of the Rings, but I would not say that they got the essence of the Silmarillion done very
I have
well.
heard people say that. I have heard that.
As a real Silmarillion enjoyer,
It's an
I
enjoyer.
enjoyed that show.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that show in the way that I enjoyed the movies, in that I had to force myself first to move past
It, yeah.
the major differences.
Because they changed certain things up. You're saying, right?
They changed a lot. So Amazon changed a lot of things,
Okay.
way more than Peter Jackson did in the original movies. There's a lot of creative liberty going on, and a lot of direct changing of things.
I've heard people say that, but I was saying, like, as far as even if it was changes, right? Like, you can see that there's clear passion put into it. Like, it's not like they just threw anything out there.
That I concur 100%.
Yeah, so like from the casting to the money put into the special effects, things of that nature. Like, the production is all there. Like, there's real care. And then you look at Fallout, you look at the Reacher show, like and there's other things too. There's other stuff.
Reacher is very good.
Yeah, Reacher is really good. But just like stuff like that, I'm like, man, if they would have given it to Amazon, I would have been more confident. But to your point, but Paramount, I am a little weary just based off of certain other projects that they've had that didn't quite go well, Halo being one. So we'll see.
I'm also really curious as to what they're going to do, because I don't think they actually said, like, all they said is they're adapting, quote, Call of Duty. And, like, there's a lot of sub-IP in Call of Duty, so, like, is it going to be based on, like, the Modern Warfare squad? Is it going to be completely original? Is it going to be based on, like, Black Ops?
I think if I had the choice, I would think Modern Warfare would probably
I would also hope Modern Warfare.
Yeah. And it's so much already for them to draw from if they went that direction. Like, to me, I think that would be the smartest choice. Especially since they don't have to go too crazy, because Black Ops, a lot of that is very futuristic. So I would have, heavy special effects. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm cautious, but optimistic.
It definitely it really does depend on who they're putting on the project. Because I don't remember which Call of Duty game it was, but there was one of the. It might have been one of the the newer World War II ones, and the developers are like, "We crafted this campaign to make interesting characters, because Call of Duty doesn't have really any interesting characters, and we wanted to make them and make a story." And everyone's kind of looking at them dumbfounded. It's like, have you not played Black Ops? Have you not played Modern Warfare?
I think that was for Vanguard.
Yes, that sounds.
I want to say that was for Vanguard, an interview for Vanguard.
That sounds about right, because that was the moment we were like, there was a lot of people that were losing faith in, like, okay, you're crafting a campaign and saying that the iconic characters from Modern Warfare and Black Ops are not interesting characters, because I don't know many people who don't know who Ghost is, who don't know who Soap is, who don't know Captain Price, or going even to Black Ops. Mason and Menendez and all that stuff, Richthoff, or even the 4 COD zombie characters that have so much story based around them now.
I will say, and this will lead into the next topic, they could probably do a pretty good zombies show.
Oh my god,
like a TV show.
They really
could.
Zombies
cast. That could be like a comedic show.
That would actually make a lot of sense. I mean, you look at Marvel Zombies, how they're doing that, right?
This is rolling straight into Marvel Zombies. Is the next
look at
news
that.
Thing. Marvel Zombies got a trailer, and it's launching on September 26th. It looked pretty okay. I didn't really care for Marvel Zombies in the What If. I thought it was neat. I didn't really ever understand why it was getting its own show, but like, cool. September 26th for the people who like the animated stuff from Marvel right now.
Nice.
Let's see here.
That actually kind of went into a second point I was thinking of, is that with all these live action shows, but like you compared them to, like, the Secret Lair thing, that the Secret Levels that
that Amazon did,
put up, like there's this whole, there's all this almost like bloat of live action shows coming out of all these things. Like, I know animation is harder, like it takes longer, and obviously you get voice actors instead of actual actors, but like I feel like there's so much that you could still do with animation that would make it more enjoyable and much more successful than all these live action shows. Because usually when a live action show comes out, you do have that very strong, this is really good, this is really bad. But with animated, I mean, unless the story is really bad, I mean, Arcane blew up.
Arcane was awesome.
And I mean, and I heard some mixed things about the second season, but once again, it's usually based on the writing. It had nothing to do with the music or the acting or whatnot. I've actually never watched either, so like I'm going on it like a secondary opinion on that. But like, you know, there's animation is what a lot of people have grown up on, and I feel like the fact that it's almost a dying art because of like the expense of it now it's a shame, because you know usually old animated stuff is like where all the passion was put into. That's where all the love was into. And I feel like sometimes when they do live action, they kind of drop that and they kind of go with mediocre stuff. But it's not a blanket statement. There are still some good live action shows out there. It's just I don't really watch many. I don't watch much TV or, you know, streaming services. I mean, I'm kind of like, if I watch anything on the TV, it's anime with my fiance or something. Yeah, which is, you know,
what anime?
The winning animation thing is anime.
Just real quick before we move, what anime are you guys watching? What are you loving?
We are currently watching the 3rd season of Blue Exorcist, because we didn't even know there was a 3rd season until recently, and so we got into that. Before we were watching that, we watched Frieren, because that's just a really, really good one.
You know, I've yet to watch that. I put it on, but went to sleep on it. I got to get back into it and try it out.
It is such a good slow paced anime, except for then when they get into actual fight scenes, it's some of the most beautifully animated stuff. There's none of that new generation 3D animated
square blocks
stuff. It doesn't have the Overlord level 3D animated monsters thing. It is all hand drawn. It is beautiful in Frieren.
Down with the 3D work in anime is terrible. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay, yeah, cool. Definitely got to chop it up with you in the future about some of that stuff, anime and things like that. Yeah.
I haven't seen the original, but the Mortal Kombat 2 film was delayed to May 15th, 2026 from October 24th, 2025.
Yeah. You know, the first one was okay. And the thing that upset me was I had seeing it up until that point, like, you know, snippets here and there that they were posting online. I'm like, yeah, this might be it. This might usurp the you know, the old 19 whatever it was movie, the 1990 whatever movie, right? And which it still has a place in my heart for so many reasons. The soundtrack being probably one of the main ones, right? And man, that movie sucked in so many ways, but it had some moments that were great, but it missed the mark so bad. But if you watch it, you will see some moments that like, whoa, like that was very Mortal Kombat-ish, right? Like, I don't want to give any moments away, but I think they kind of show this in the trailer where Jax goes against Sub-Zero, and you know how that might shake out. And Sub-Zero freezes his arms, and you know what Jax has, obviously, at a later point. So, and he shatters them. So, but I don't want to give much more away than that. There are moments that are like, ooh, gruesome, perfect, very Mortal Kombat-ish. Then there's this unusual kind of D-list, D-tier acting / direction that started happening. When you watch it, you'll see what I mean. And it was very, I don't know, it was very cheesy and just poorly directed, poorly acted in some certain respects, and just, I don't know, just ill thought out. That pale in comparison to the first original Mortal Kombat movie. But it was enough for me to be like, okay, I'm down for a sequel provided you improve on some things. Now, the people they had for both that played Scorpion, I forgot his name, but you all will recognize him if you see him, and Sub-Zero, and who else did I like a lot? Even Kung Lao looked pretty cool. Like, some things in there are really good. Those two, though, Scorpion and Sub-Zero's characters, perfect.
Who are they?
You're going to like them.
Tangentially, I am mad that Shaolin Monks is not in that Mortal Kombat collection.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's very tangential.
Every time a new Mortal Kombat comes out, we're Shaolin Monks.
Genuinely, where's
Shaolin
Monks?
Is Shaolin Monks okay? Can I see him?
Genuinely, I love Shaolin Monks. It's not that great of a game, but I love it.
Yeah. What was? I wonder what is the reasoning for that? Is it like
I don't know.
Contractual?
Probably because it and Deception weren't well received.
Yeah, that's pretty odd. I did see you talk about it.
It breaks away from the normal genre.
Yeah, because they're like not their campaigns were more like Subspace Emissary, and they weren't like direct fighting games. There was a direct fighting mode in it, but they were like they played like at least single player was more like Subspace Emissary from which Smash Brothers is that? Is that Brawl? Yeah. That's why I loved it, because I liked Brawl. I love Subspace Emissary. So like I loved it's about the only way you can get me to play a fighting game is you put in modes like that. All right, next up we got James Gunn has announced Man of Tomorrow movie in theaters July 9th, 2027. Literally just tweeted it out. Not at an event, just tweeted it out.
Without fanfare.
No fanfare. I think people are going to be excited for that because that's Superman. We actually got a fairly good Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was well received, generally speaking. So I think people are going to be excited for that. I have no real say because it's not Batman, and otherwise I don't really care for DC if it's not Batman. Or the Teen Titans / Young Justice. I like that. I love the animated stuff from DC, but live action stuff, unless it's Batman, I don't really care.
I'm so happy they brought Nathan Fillion in for Guy Gardner's.
Truly, he's great. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Truly,
because normally he plays the main Green Lantern in the animated stuff when he does voice acting, but the fact that they put him as Guy Gardner in the live action, perfect. I love it. I love the man.
I was so against his hairdo as Guy Gardner, and then I saw the scenes with him, and I was like, all right, you know what?
It's canon.
They cooked. James Gunn cooked.
So accurate to the comics. It was perfect. It's supposed to look stupid.
Apparently, mind you, he fought for that. They were going to give him like a more modern style, but he said, no, I want the bowl cut.
We love Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
We love him in this household.
I do love Nathan Fillion. Like everything that he's in is gold.
Yeah, he's one of those great character actors. Like you love him, right? And no matter what he's in, he always has the same kind of charm. Be it Buck in Halo or ODST or whatever.
8-6 in Destiny.
Yeah, so he has that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah,
as they would say, right? But no, and on that, I thought Superman was great in so many ways. Now, it had a lot of flaws I complained about, too, or nitpicks, things that I would have changed. I thought it was an overuse of, like, crypto, for instance, right? And where they could have had Superman I think Gunn would have been better to let Superman stand up on his own. But if you look at some of the feats he did, he was doing some crazy stuff, like from the black hole situation. I don't want to give much away if anyone hasn't seen it, but
I haven't seen. I've probably seen a third of the movie through YouTube,
okay,
but
there are moments. But I think what they did right more than anything is capture the essence and character of Superman correctly. Contrast that with, and of course, I don't know if you all seen it, but there's this weird Snyder fan war going on.
I hate the Snyder.
What is up with them?
I hate the Snyder fans.
They're weird.
I hate the DC fans arguing with each other. I hate it.
Yeah, it's like enjoy it. It's your character. Why are we prioritizing the director? And
his movies aren't very good.
They aren't. I'm just gonna be real.
Like any of them.
I'll give him credit for a few. Watchmen, which was more or less a 1-to-1 translation, minus the ending, which I thought his ending was better than, oddly enough.
That's fair.
Than the comic, the graphic novel, however you want to shake it up. I thought Moore's ending was like, what? That came out of nowhere. Versus Snyder's. I thought Snyder's was more in tune with everything. But that's a 1-to-1, right? He just literally just followed the books, which you should do. And if he has direction, I think Snyder could excel as long as he's not the arbiter, of the control of the story. When he has to try to write it and everything, you get trash. When he follows a script of something, you get something decent. Like
you get Rebel Moon when he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. What was that movie? The zombie movie he made? Dawn of.
I have no idea. I just know Rebel Moon was awful. I watched it and I was like, what am I watching?
See, that's an example of him doing that by himself.
What is this bootleg Star Wars?
Yeah, exactly. See, that's an example of him having controls all the way through, and it just sucks. The more modern zombie movie he did for Netflix, trash. With Batista in it, it was garbage. But he had Dawn of the Dead. That's the name of it. Dawn of the Dead with Ving Rhames and all of them in it. That was excellent. But I don't think he wrote that. You see, he just directed it. And when that happens, you kind of get something great.
Yeah, he's he's a pretty good director, but he is like things that he has creative control over.
He
like
sucks
pure,
when it
like
comes to that.
Pure creative control over is awful.
Yeah, 100% agree. When it's just him and he has the creative control, it sucks. And you'll see some good moments, like shots, like, oh, look at that action shot, but then it'll suck. But when it's like when there's someone else there to help him along the way, if he was smart enough to allow for that, he can have some. He can turn in some good stuff. That said, Man of Steel was hit or miss for me. A lot of great action moments, like he excels in that. But when it comes to character moments, that's where he goes wrong. And his Superman is so broody and so like sad and so un-Superman like. I do not understand what version of Superman he was going for. And like if you hear him behind the scenes when he talks about it, it's like, what are you saying? Like even when he talks about Batman, he made his Batman, as you all saw, a murderer. He was literally killing in those movies. Batman doesn't kill like that. Like we know that. So like, but his Batman was murderous, literally killing with the Batmobile, literally in that excellent warehouse scene, which was excellent, but he murdered some of those people. Like, so he doesn't quite get the characters. That's the problem with Snyder. Everybody has to, well, it should be this. He has this edgelord kind of thing going about himself. But like outside of that, if you come like this, there's weird comparison and fight amongst the DC Snyder fans who are like, oh, Snyder cut. I'm sure you all have seen that. Snyder cut. And now they're mad at David Cornsweet, who is the new Superman, and wanting him to bring back Cavill. I want them to bring back Cavill too, but as somebody made a great suggestion, they said as Zod. I'm like, yeah, bring him back as Zod. I'd be 100% for that.
Leave Cavill out of this. He's working on the Warhammer project. Let him cook on that. Let him keep him out of DC. He doesn't need to be involved with any of that. He's busy.
If they do like a Crisis on Infinite Earths or anything like that, they could bring him in as a different Superman as well.
They could, yeah. That would actually work. That would be nice. Yeah. But but other than that, I am excited for it. It's a quick turnaround too, right? In 2027, it's a pretty quick turnaround.
Well, it almost has to be because they're trying to compete with Marvel, which means they need to get a couple movies out a year.
Yeah.
Then they have to start somewhere, and they have to, just like Marvel, they have to start with bigger characters at first, and then move to
the side, the more lesser known. Makes sense. What are you thinking about for that Batman, like in this universe? Because this seems like a more lighter universe compared.
Yeah, which to be fair, that's good. Because if you're going real dark, you have to outdo the Dark Knight, and you're not going to outdo the Dark Knight. You're just not. Yeah. It's gonna take a director who's better than Christopher Nolan, which I don't think there is one right now that could compete with him in what he was doing there.
Right.
And it would take, a different set of actors and actresses. And I just don't think that we're far enough removed from it to have something be better than that in that style. That doesn't mean we can't have a very, very good Batman movie. I didn't like the what's his face's Robert Pattinson Batman movie. Did not care for it. But
you didn't like the movie at all, or
I didn't. I thought it was over, and it had 45 minutes left. So that. And you're not Return of the King. It didn't. That was not a movie that warranted having 45 minutes of endings. But but you know, a lot of people like that movie, and I'm not going to take away that from people. If you love that movie, very good. Like, enjoy what you enjoy. It was by no stretch of the means was it a bad superhero movie. I just didn't care for it.
I hear you. I loved it, but
because there's a difference between I don't care for it and it's bad. Right?
That is
I
true.
don't care for it.
That is true. That's great that you said that.
Some
people don't know how to differentiate.
It was not bad.
Yeah, that's actually great you said that, because some people do not know how to differentiate.
Yeah,
it's not for me means it's terrible for most people when they say it.
It was. There's some things that are both not for me and I think are terrible.
Yeah,
that are very controversial. Like I'll say that about The Last of Us, and people will roast me for it. But we're not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that they do something akin to the Batman from like the animated series, or like Justice League Unlimited, like that Kevin Conroy style Batman.
That would be
where
great.
He was serious, but not the Christopher Nolan kind of serious.
Yeah. Where are they?
Or like I'm trying to remember what the Justice League movie, the animated Justice League movie was called. It was the one that was right after Flashpoint, where
with his father.
It's basically the Justice League is uniting to fight Darkseid. He's invading Earth, and none of them have met each other. Which one?
Was it a Justice League Apocalypse?
No. Apocalypse was like the very end of that era of movies. This was like the first one in that era. Like they were all meeting each other for the first time, and like he's dark and brooding in it, but he's really funny and sassing the crap out of Green Lantern the whole time.
It's not Doom, right?
I don't think so. I don't quite remember which Justice League movie it was, but I hope they do something like that, where like he's dark and brooding, but like when it calls for it, he's also funny, but he's funny in that dark and brooding style. Because like there's a scene where Green Lantern asks him, "You're not a guy in a bat costume, are you?" And he just looks at him and smiles.
Yeah. You know what I thought out, like seeing how the energy of this I guess Guns verse, if you will, for the DCU. I was thinking
it was Justice League War. That's
War. Okay. What about the Brave and the Bold version of Batman? I think that was pretty
oh gosh,
I like that old cartoon.
Man,
too
that's
campy.
So here's the thing. I love super campy crap. That's why I loved Star Wars Outlaws, because it was super campy Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it was super campy Star Wars done well.
Nice.
Brave and the Bold, really, if anything, really pulled back into like this is an animated version. If we did the Adam West Batman, animated, that it's that level, and like obviously it adds some serious factors to it too. But like it is that level of there's some really funny stuff going on, and this is 100% Adam West level. You know. He's gonna pull out the bat shark repellent level type stuff.
He had that in the cartoon as well. Yeah, I loved the Brave and the Bold. I thought it was excellent. But and you know what I loved about it most is that he didn't skimp away from actually like punching people. It was like you remember like some of these animated things they couldn't show them hitting people. No, well not this one. Even though he was campy, he was still giving people like the old Mike Tyson combos. But I thought Brave and Bold Batman was really, really cool. Definitely harkened back to the Adam West. Bam, boom, pow, zip, wham. You know, they definitely pull call to that. But I also love their version of Arthur, Aquaman, you know, in that too. Like, he was great. He was, Gadzooks, man. Like, he was, you know, like, that was really great too. So, but,
the DC's animation department was
so good.
It was always a winner compared to like it was funny because back then it was Marvel had the best live action, DC had the best animated.
Yeah.
And that's still kind of true, other than now that I don't personally, I'm not a huge fan of much of the live action movies these days.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been like I think at the end game, a lot of people were like kind of like, all right, we're moving on.
They had like 2 good ones post Endgame with Shang-Chi and I really liked Thunderbolts.
I thought Thunderbolts was decent enough.
Nine Rings is pretty good too. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're getting there. I think if post Endgame, I think the Spider-Man movie was probably the best post Endgame. That was excellent to me.
Oh yeah, no, that was. Oh yeah, I forgot about. Yeah, no, that one probably my favorite of the Spider-Man movies.
Oh yeah, pure nostalgia too, right? All in there.
Hell yeah,
truly.
Pure fan service. Like, I'm like I remember being in the theater and everyone being so hyped when they saw Toby and Andrew pop up, and they were like, "Yeah!" I mean, like
that was such a redemption for Andrew. I was so happy
truly.
for him.
Yeah, man, when he's crying after he saved her, like that was stuff like that is what make you love. Like, I'm not trying to sound like a Marvel fanboy, but the way that they crafted things and they pull back to these moments, you're like, man, that's why I love Marvel, right? Like how at least Kevin Feige, how they reward us with things like that. Even in Deadpool, like you get rewarded seeing, I'm not. If anyone hasn't seen it, I don't want to say anything, but just seeing characters come back, like oh look at they brought this, who would have thought to see that character pop up in Deadpool or whatever, especially the history with Ryan Reynolds and certain people. So like stuff like that, I love to see. That's just pure fan service moments right there. But yeah, to move on, what
I got one last. There's a couple TV film ones, but I got one last one that I actually want to cover.
Okay.
And that's Sophie Turner, who I believe was Sansa Stark.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to star as Lara Croft in a live-action Tomb Raider series with Amazon.
What's your thoughts on her?
I think she was great in Game of Thrones after she grew up a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought she was awful in Dark Phoenix.
Yeah. She was.
But to be fair, that movie was awful. I don't know that was entirely her fault. That entire movie was bad.
That's true too. Yeah, the movie was not good.
The director of Shogun's going to be directing the series, so like that's kind of hype.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 people named as showrunners. I don't know who they are, and they didn't list what they had done, and I did not look it up. So the showrunners are Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Chad Hodge. I have no idea. If someone in chat wants to tell us what they've done. Filming begins this January.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
I'm torn with it, much like you. I did see some acting from her that was like, but I will say, I think she'll probably put more gravitas behind this because it's Lara Croft, right? It's icon.
Yeah.
Like I feel like she'll put more of herself into making sure that she succeeds here.
And like she was really good host. How much do we care about Game of Thrones spoilers in this chat?
I think we're fine. I think we're good.
I think we're far enough removed, right?
Yeah, it's been years.
So after Joffrey's assassination,
I was so happy when he bit.
I didn't get to that point.
Yeah, no. After that, like, her acting in the show tremendously improves because she's really annoying while she's in King's Landing.
Oh man.
And then she's much better after she's in King's Landing.
This is how I know she acted well, even in those parts, though, because I despised her so much.
Yeah.
On her actions. I was like, oh, you cost them so much.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't stand her. Yeah.
So I think that could be good. Like you said, Amazon puts a lot of care into their stuff, and they actually outright own that, so they have a even higher vested interest in caring. So I thought they bought something related to Tomb Raider. Maybe it was just they bought the movie rights.
I did see that some time back. I forgot. We may have.
I know they don't own Crystal Dynamics, but
right.
But yeah, that could be good. All right, let's get on some gaming stuff. I want to talk about gaming stuff.
Yeah. Did you have the breakdowns, or at least the scores, I suppose?
I did. Yeah. I have a reviews for the week section.
Yes.
Now, I only included the OpenCritic scores because I actually don't like Metacritic when people say this is the Metacritic score, because there's 3 Metacritic scores because they score per platform.
Right.
I like OpenCritic because it aggregates all the platforms. The only time I care about the Metacritic score is when you have like one platform, like with like the one Arkham game that was like really bad on PC. Then it tends to matter for that one platform. But otherwise, you're just getting all the reviews in one place, and
Fair enough.
like there's no difference.
I tend to prefer
So we
OpenCritic overall as well, so I get.
Yeah, OpenCritic should be the resource people use, except for when a specific platform has a really bad version of a game. For example, Mortal Kombat on the Switch.
Okay.
The newest Mortal Kombat on the Switch was dreadful.
Yeah.
It was fairly good other places. So the first one we have is Lost Soulside, which was the PS5 exclusive that like started development like 1 billion years ago for the PS3. It received an OpenCritic aggregate score of 64.
Ooh.
A little bit of a yikes. I have heard that it is fairly good action gameplay with absolutely abysmal voice acting.
I've seen some of
To the point where it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I've heard that the people in the reviews were saying 2 things about that, because I was interested in it when it was first announced because it was the single dev. It was the single guy, and then they started building a team around him.
Yeah.
And I've heard the English voice acting is terrible, so if you switch it to Japanese, you're fine. And then also, the game runs terribly if you have ray tracing turned on.
Yeah. Well.
So turning off ray tracing apparently fixed a lot of the issues that a lot of people were having with that game. But beyond that, yeah, it is, the story is meh. The English voice acting is terrible, but the combat gameplay is apparently pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from what I've seen, I've watched a few people play it. Very Devil May Cry-esque combat, which I love, because to me, Devil May Cry 5, at least Devil May Cry 5, I should say, is the pinnacle of action games. So it definitely apes that. But I would say, though, that very clearly the voice acting is horrible. And I say this as somebody...
It's horrible. It's fucking borderline funny horrible.
Yeah, like Resident Evil 2. Ada! Like, terrible. Like, it's that bad. It's Resident Evil 1 bad voice acting, right? It's from what I've seen, it's not that great. And I think they could have done better in that regard. I will say, like, the animated scenes or cut scenes, whatever, I would say are really, really nice, real top-notch kind of what you would expect in the vein of the action style it is, and then get that world. I would say that, it's so exaggerated because there are moments where he does, like, I saw this one scene where he was running and it was like these rocks and stuff or pillars that fell down, and he could have easily jumped over the entire thing and kept moving. Yeah. He did like a slow down, twisting dive in between the columns that were like laid down. He did like a ridiculous Olympic spin in between them, landed on one part outside of that, jumped up, landed on another part, kicked off of that, and flew over the rest and landed like, superhero landing. And it was like it looked badass, but it was like, you could have just jumped over the whole thing and kept moving. Like, it was so unnecessary.
I saw this video where, like, the main protagonist just kicks the shit out of the kid into a box. And I couldn't. I'm like, all right, too. I'm totally picking this game up when it goes on a deep sale. Like, 100%, this is one of those bad games that I'm like, it has a reason to play it. Like, there are bad games that are just bad, like the newer Postal game, right?
Yeah.
And then there's bad games that you can learn something either about how game development should be, or you can learn something about yourself and how you find certain things funny. And I want to play this game because I find so much of the nonsense funny.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
So that was the first game. Yeah. Second game is Hell Is Us reviews. OpenCritic had it at an 80 at the time that I took the scores this evening.
Oh, before you go to Hell Is Us, I did want to mention one thing. Sure. For Lost Soulside, they're allegedly...
the budget. $8 million.
Yeah, the budget apparently was $8 million for that. So
that would make sense considering it was one dude for the majority of its development cycle.
So I will say, if that was the case, that's a W considering, even if it's having issues, it's still selling through. I'm sure I'm sure
Yeah.
they will recoup that in pretty easily. That's very low.
Now, I'm curious as to. I suspect that 8 million doesn't cover like the actual publishing costs. In fact, I would almost guarantee it doesn't. I would believe that covers the development, based on what I have seen of the game.
Yeah.
But I would suspect that number isn't quite inclusive of publishing costs, and I would suspect that you're closer to 20. Personally, that would be my actual guess. But still, you're probably gonna, even at 20, you're probably gonna hit the you're probably gonna hit that.
Yeah. I mean, good luck to them. Maybe they patch it up. I know the creator. I'm sure he put his heart and soul into it.
Sure.
But yeah.
This is not a bad game in the view that Mind's Eye was a bad game.
Right.
This is a bad game in the terms that, like, there is a lot here that does not meet regular standards, but there is something playable and enjoyable at its core. For different reasons too.
I think that's fair. Right. It's not bad in the sense of, it's just a bad game. It's bad in the sense of having technical issues and and bad voice acting.
So Hell Is Us, 80 on OpenCritic. I have heard people enjoying that game. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Why so?
I am not very big into I'm not very big into the way they speak about the philosophy of how they designed the game. Because I'm all for games hand-holding people less. However, from what I have seen of all the stuff I've watched of it, they did not implement the in-world equivalents of those things. Like instead of having yellow paint, there should be like true environmental markers and things like that. They're like, there's no map in the game. I'm like, cool. Do you have like a little like a thing in like anywhere that kind of can allow people to get a feel of what the map should be like and what they should expect? Like, I'm not a big fan of the design philosophy of we're going back to making it so that you have no information about what's going on. I'm not for that. I'm all for games making it so that you maybe don't get spoon-fed that information nearly as much, but I'm really not for the philosophy, and I'm just gonna kind of stay away from it.
Okay, I see. I think they were approaching it in a Zelda Breath of the Wild style when it comes to that, and I've heard
I would argue they're taking it many steps beyond that.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things. I've heard that the combat was too repetitive for some. Now, gaming itself is repetitive, but it's about the loop. Right, it's about finding that satisfying loop of repetitiveness, and I've heard that it wasn't as satisfying for some, but they liked a lot of everything else. So I do want to play it. It's one of those things. I might wait for a sale to get it, and I think I'll grab that on Steam or something like that. But yeah, Hell Is Us. Where did it land? 80, you said, right?
80.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Not bad.
Next one is Chronos: The New Dawn.
Chronos.
And it is currently at about a 78.
Yeah.
I wanted to say one thing. I jive personally a lot with Jez Cordons. I go back and forth with him about stuff, and I jive a lot with how he thinks of things. And Jez thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I know I'm gonna love it because it looks like Dead Space, the game that isn't called Dead Space.
Shout out to my brother Jez. Now, I typically vibe with him, but he does confound me in a few things. That love of beans, I don't quite.
Listen, he's British. He's British.
Yeah, he's British. British.
Yeah, he does. Jez does love to put beans on everything.
Yeah, I felt like I had to call the cops a few times,
or at least make memes about putting beans where beans shouldn't be.
He had a bean pizza he posted one time.
But
I'm like, get this obscenity out of here.
As soon as I finish Star Wars Outlaws, there's a 95% chance that's the game that I'm starting.
For Chronos?
For Chronos. There's a 5% chance it's the next game that we'll be doing the last game on the list that I have review scores for. But yeah. And Chronos: The New Dawn was also made with a significantly smaller budget. I believe it was like 1 million of the local currency, which I think translated to something like 26 million USD.
Yeah, I saw that. So apparently it was made for very little, or relatively very little.
Game development in Poland, which I believe they are from Poland. I
Okay.
believe they are Polish developers, and game development in Poland
It's
is kind
pretty
of dirt cheap.
Yep.
They don't pay the developers exactly what they should, but they're like
Mhm.
the cost of living is also significantly lower, so they don't need to be paid.
Yep.
Like you don't need to take home as much money, but they don't get paid what they should even then. But it was made on a significantly cheaper budget. Same thing's true with like Remedy, by the way. You'll see their game budgets are really low, and that's why their cost of living is significantly lower.
Yep.
And so
I-
they can
I
the
did-
cost of actually paying people is lower.
Me and Danny talked about that in the past.
Yeah.
And we remember when Phil and team went out there, and people were like, "Oh, speculating, like, what's he doing out in Poland? Is he going to CD Projekt Red? Is, things of that nature." And
Well, and they own a studio out there through Activision.
oh,
I
yeah.
don't remember what they're called.
That is true.
It was just opened as like Edge of something or other. I don't totally remember.
Is it for the edge of? For the
Something strange. Something like sci-fi-ish sounding.
Okay. Yeah. I think though at the time when he went, this was before. I actually do not know. I can't tell you. I don't know when the timeline. Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow, is that what he said?
That's maybe.
People that do the what's the name of that game? This is RTS or something like, not the RTS. It is RTS, right? That they do. They cover. What is the name of that game? I cannot remember.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
The Edge of Tomorrow team. They do. I'm having a brain fart. But you can go ahead. I'll figure it out in a second.
And the last game is Metal Eden, which is the game that is the footage that is being played, and it is being hit with a 76 on OpenCritic.
Not bad.
All around, the games were okay to good. I think Chronos was hit because people thought it was a little too They said dated, which is kind of exactly what I wanted, because like there's not much modern game development style you can put into Dead Space to make Dead Space feel better without making it feel different. And so there's some games when you tell me that they're dated, I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's great. Make more games like that. So
yeah, Metal Eden is currently on the screen for those wondering what game this is. I kind of expected it to kind of hit in that range of a 70, a high 70s, possibly 80 soar, which is good. I mean, a 70 rated game is obviously it's telling you it's a good game. So, get it where you can. I feel like I would wait for a sale to pop up and I would grab it. It's cheap already, by the way. It's not cheap, relatively cheap. It's pretty affordable. I think it's like you can probably find it for like $30 some odd right now. Depending on what you play on. And I figured maybe you might have been talking about the Tom Cruise movie, but there is a Microsoft dev team with something of tomorrow. I cannot remember their name right now, but they cover like, what is that? The Age of Empires or something like that? I can't remember.
I mean, there's Age of Empires at World's Edge.
World's Edge.
What you're thinking of?
Thinking.
World's Edge is a production. They're not actually a development team.
confused.
They're a production team. They manage the outsourcing.
Thank you. That's what it was. It was the Edge part that had me captured. It was the World's Edge, not Edge of Tomorrow. It was something that had me caught.
Okay, the one in Poland is Elsewhere Entertainment.
Elsewhere Entertainment. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it started with an E.
Okay.
So.
All
right.
You
got anything else?
I saw. Let me see. Oh, my buddy James Coffey, he says, how funny would it have been if the dev did all the voices? Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah,
James.
sure.
But yeah, what else do we have?
Fair Games director Daniel Drapeau, I'm going to assume is how that's pronounced, has left Haven Studios for Warner Brothers in Montreal. This is after Jade Raymond, the founder of Haven Studios, left back in May. That is, I forget what the name of their studio is. That's a studio that is making Fair Games, the really bad-looking live service game that Sony's making. The game that I thought was going to be what happened to Concord. I thought Concord had a chance when it was first announced in 2021, and they showed that really bad trailer for Fair Games back when it had the $ for the S, and it's that weird, I can only describe it as Gen Z heist game.
That's pretty fair, accurate representation of it, I think. Yeah.
And it looks awful. We have not seen it since then, and it has now lost both its studio head and the creative director.
Yeah. Over under. What's the over under for when they'll be announcing that game is canceled and that studio is closed?
I don't know. I don't know if they can like. I'm at the point where like, I don't know if they can afford to cancel. I don't know. I genuinely couldn't tell you.
They have
It's
sunk
weird
too much
because
into
when you said Gen Z, what would you say, Gen Z heist game? My brain immediately went to the Saints Row reboot they tried.
Genuinely though, it's the same vibe. It's the same vibe.
Oh god.
Yeah, same kind of
Actually, it's probably worse vibe.
Oh.
Like, go put mute the volume and go put the trailer on for Fair Games. It's one word. FAIRGAMES. Go put the trailer on for that with the sound off, and you'll understand what I mean.
Yeah.
That game's probably getting canceled. If it doesn't get
certain.
canceled, that game is not going to last more than a year. I'd say that like I don't think it could be concorded because what happened to Concord has like never happened before in games, and so like I don't want to say it'll be the next Concord because genuinely I don't know if there will be another game that what happened to Concord will happen to it. It's never happened before.
Yeah. Concord got the ET treatment.
Yeah, like it got beyond ET, man.
Yeah,
Like that's
way more
wild.
costly.
That was
Yeah.
wild.
Way more costly, right? But
yeah.
that is something. Fair Games has DOA written all over it, in my opinion. I thought it when they showed it. I thought most of the games they showed during that state of play or whatever, I'm like, nah, that's not going to do it. And and even then, I was a bit forgiving. I tend to be a bit forgiving when I talk about gaming, but the PlayStation crowd, a lot of the PlayStation buddies, they were very anti live service games when it happened. They all trashed that show. I remember.
Sure, because that show had Helldivers, the Fair Games, and Concord. Now, Helldivers is great.
Yeah,
Helldivers terrific.
excellent.
I've been playing Helldivers on Xbox with Dots. I forgot to mention that earlier. Great. Right?
That's a good segue
Fantastic.
to happen after this one, the Helldivers.
I also could not have told you that Helldivers was going to be the success it was. I thought it was funny. I thought the trailers for it were great. I didn't think it would be
the original announcement trailer sold me instantly. It sold me on the game instantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. I just didn't think it was going to be received the way it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I thought it would be. I thought it would find its niche, kind of like
I thought that too.
What's the dwarf mining space game?
Deep Rock Galactic.
I thought it would be like Deep Rock Galactic. It is so popular, but
I was sold on it too. I hadn't played the first one, but seeing this one during that show, I was like, yeah, that looks good, and it turned out to be great. So, and look how well it's doing now.
A lot of people haven't played the first one, and the genre is a completely different.
Yeah,
it's different,
definitely different. Yep.
Because it's a top-down arcadey shooter in the first one, and then you know how the second one is.
Yeah. but on to the subject of that though. Jade Raymond leaving like that. I saw some people. It's weird. I don't want to get into the whole Xbox tax thing, but I have to point out that I would be remiss if they would say, if I didn't point out that a lot of Microsoft had their fair share of controversies this year, and I guess last with people firings and such like that, people being let go, studios closures here and there. Sony has had a lot of that recently, and from last year to now, from studio closures to game cancellations, and I feel like they're kind of getting a pass here.
I don't think they've gotten a pass on their live service push. People are not letting it go that they wasted so much money.
Specifically this one though, like I don't see any like.
So this in particular,
yeah.
I don't think until it's canceled, I don't think people will freak out.
They'll wait. Do you think
it's gonna need to be canceled or come out and be awful?
Yeah.
Okay, like for example,
two.
Concord wasn't good in its beta. It was not. But people let it go because they were like, oh, it's still not released yet. It could just be the beta. And then it came out, and people were like, oh no.
I thought Concord was dead or on arrival too, though. Being honest,
I thought it was dead on arrival. I didn't think it was dead on arrival.
Yeah.
Like, capital dead.
No resurrections. Yeah.
Like, I thought it would be kind of like Anthem, where it would, like, hobble along for a bit, for a couple years, and then eventually
Yeah.
they'd shut it. Nah, it was dead in weeks. Like, that's wild. But I think that you're gonna need to see fair games actually, like, get canceled.
Yeah, that's fair. I suppose that's fair. They don't want to like go off speculation, maybe.
Yeah, because, like, you know, with Microsoft, the stuff was just, like, canceled on a Wednesday. Just outright canceled. There was no
No fanfare.
there was no period of, like, hope, right? Like, because this could still come out and it could still technically be good.
Right.
They've lost like, leadership, but it could still come out and be maybe okay. I don't think so, but
yeah.
like, and so there, like, it's
the
not
chance
to the
of that
point
happening,
of,
I'm not sure.
it's not to the point of now if people don't get don't get absolutely livid that, like, yet another PlayStation Live Service game has collapsed, then I'm with you, and, like, they're getting a pass where they should. I don't think we're quite at the point where I would say anything like that yet.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I think we're probably getting there.
Yeah. I mean, we could see that their live service venture has largely failed.
Largely,
Helldivers,
absolutely failed.
yeah, Helldivers being the exception to the rule, but
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, when they showed the whole 12 live service, I'm like, well, we already knew most live service fail. So that in
They even
itself
said
was
that when like, Jim Ryan, it was, like, quoted in an interview saying that they did not expect all of them to succeed, or even
True.
half of them to succeed.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm like, that's kind of crazy when you're putting hundreds of millions of dollars in 5 years into the development of these.
that is crazy.
To not be confident in them.
I wish I had that type of money. Like, let me just throw a few
Right.
million over here. Yeah.
But
But
so,
no.
all right.
Yeah, we'll see how
Next
it
up-
goes. We'll see.
Yeah. Next up, we got Nate the Hate saying there's probably a Direct next week for Nintendo.
Oh man.
All right, that's pretty
that-
standard.
So that's pretty standard, and it was tied into the whole Wolverine thing. What's the Wolverine situation?
So that's actually that is separate. That is Insider Gaming saying that there is going to be another State of Play towards the end of September for PlayStation. And
So this is the
they
same
stated,
though, right? This is the same State of Play situation, though, right?
No. So Nate the Hate said there's going to be a Nintendo Direct next week.
Oh, okay. I thought his was the State of Play. Okay. I
No,
misread it.
Nate the Hate said a Nintendo Direct next week. Insider Gaming had said that based on their knowledge of the existence of a finished Wolverine marketing trailer, they believe it will be at a planned State of Play for the end of this month.
Got you. Okay. I
They are
confused
fairly
the two.
positive there is a planned State of Play for the end of this month. If the Wolverine trailer is not there, you can basically guarantee it for the Game Awards, is what they said.
Makes sense. I can see that.
They also expect the Metroidvania God of War game that was previously rumored by both them and Jeff Grubb to release, and that also, don't worry, there's another mainline God of War game coming that has entered development.
I gotta say, I'm a big Metroidvania fan. I absolutely would love to see a God of War Metroidvania.
I believe
up.
if memory serves me correct, I believe the main character of it is supposed to be Kratos' brother Deimos,
Okay.
and it's supposed to be set in Greece.
I like that. Sounds good to me.
Then they expect Phantom Blade Zero to be there. Marathon will probably be shown again there because it got delayed until March-ish of next year. Ish.
I wonder what new
I'm gonna
art
say
style
ish
they'll
one
have.
more time.
What because they'll have to dramatically change some things though, right? The art style.
No, so the art style is a shared art style. They have to take out the art that was directly ripped.
Okay.
The style itself existed long before that artist that they ripped the posters from. But they ripped a bunch of posters from a specific artist. In fact, the original, to some extent, the original Marathon games are partially responsible for the eventual creation of that art style. They don't have that art style, but they're partially responsible for the eventual generation of the art style, along with a bunch of other sci-fi things in the same kind of subgenre. That art style is not specific to that artist. But many things that were in the game were directly ripped from that artist.
I see. Still, but we'll see. I
Yeah.
don't have a lot of hope in Marathon either, being honest.
I do not either.
Yeah.
I did. So, if they come out and say that it's going to have a PvE mode style to what was added to, what is it called? Tarkov, where it was a fully PvE, you go in, you extract your friends, I'd actually probably play it. Especially for like $30. That's the sweet spot. But if it's just going to be a PvE/VP extraction shooter, I'm out, Chief. I'm good. I'm not paying money for that.
Yeah.
I have yet to pay money for a game in that genre, and I don't plan to pay money for a game in that genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I don't blame you. Yeah.
So, but that's both of those events that are supposedly happening in September.
Okay. Well, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
We'll see. Wolverine has been a long time coming. We'll see. Hopefully they do show something. Let me ask you all this, though.
Yeah.
Pepsi burp. Do you all think that do you all what's the odds, or do you all have any thoughts that maybe Wolverine will be shown, but it'll also be announced that it's going to be going to multi-plat?
I don't think it'll be announced as multi-plat. I don't think PlayStation's going to do anything day and date on other platforms.
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime. No. 100% not anytime soon. I don't even think it's going to go PC day and date. I don't know. I'm fairly certain they're going to get into a rhythm of their games, their games release on PlayStation, and then after 12 to 24 months, then they go to everywhere else. I think that's the rhythm they're going to get in.
The Final Fantasy sequence, yeah.
Kind of, except Final Fantasy itself is actually now moving to just not that.
Right, but at least 7 remaking 7 Rebirth.
It's more what they're doing. It's more what PlayStation's doing exactly right now, except instead of it just going to PC, it's going to go to more places than just PC. I think they're just going to evolve that their current strategy to be goes to PlayStation first, goes to everywhere else second. Well, everywhere else it can, because there's some things that you can't put on the Switch too.
Yeah.
So I don't think I think you just see PS5.
Elden Ring on the running like 3 frames per second on the Switch 2. But yeah.
The exception I will make is live service stuff. I think you could see Fair Games showing up on Xbox Day 1 hilariously if it comes out. Because those are the type of games that they're going to want to just make as much money from. If they contract with Arrowhead to do a Helldivers 3, for example, I guarantee you that's going to be on every platform the same day. That will be on Xbox the same day. It's supposedly Helldivers, and we can go into this, supposedly Helldivers is selling faster on Xbox than it did on PlayStation at launch.
Yeah, I saw that. Man, how much allegedly did they sell?
So they're saying, I got to say this outright. I don't 100% trust the data that the company is proposing. That being said, I don't believe that, I do believe that this is 100% possible and plausible. I just don't necessarily, I wouldn't take it as word as law, but they're saying that Xbox in the same period as Xbox between PlayStation, Xbox sold about 900,000 copies. PlayStation, it was like 630,000 copies or something like that. But that in the same time period between launches, they sold more. Now, there's a lot of things that can account for that. For example, players on Xbox platforms tend to like shooter games more. That's a well-known industry trend. Another thing is, Helldivers for its first week was broken. You could barely play it because so many people were trying to get in and their servers could not handle it. Which, I refunded the game on PlayStation because of that.
Oh wow.
So there's a lot of factors that could differentiate that. That being said, the fact that Xbox is even approaching the same numbers in the same window as PlayStation, kind of wild considering they have half the player base.
That is pretty wild. And it kind of changes the whole argument. When PlayStation gamers buy this and that, well, they buy third party much more, apparently.
Well, so like third party sells better no matter what platform you're on, unless you're Nintendo because you don't have it. But even on Nintendo though, Silksong's probably going to be like their best selling game.
Oh
on
yeah,
Switch
it's going to sell
this year.
crazy.
Yep. But you know, the thing, like, there's different demographics. Like Xbox, even in the Xbox One era, typically had more shooter style games, whereas PlayStation had more action adventure, like I would say melee style games. Or that they were slower paced third person shooters like Uncharted. So there is a difference in demographics. Whereas Helldivers is one of the most Xbox games to ever Xbox. Like for the player base. It just is. So I'm not shocked it's doing exceptionally well there. And if anything, it's gonna drive PlayStation to put more stuff on Xbox. Whether it just be live service, whether they focus on games that could fit the Xbox audience, maybe more like Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a third-person shooter. It's just bow and arrow. Or say the Ratchet and Clank series. Is a big one. Uncharted. Things like that. There's a lot of overlap in the audiences that you can see. But yeah, kind of wild that Helldivers is doing as exceptionally well on Xbox as it is. And I've been playing it with Dots a lot, and we've been opening our parties to the public so that people backfill in. And I have seen a lot of PC players. I've seen a bunch of other Xbox players. I have yet to see another a PlayStation player.
I think they're
genuinely. I have yet to see a cross-play PlayStation player.
They're walling themselves off from us. They're like, we won't.
I don't think that's actually real. I just even when it launched, PlayStation or PC was the dominant player base of Helldivers.
That's true.
This was widely reported by sites like Circana and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if like the actual audience that's still playing it on PlayStation is much, 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 much smaller.
I have heard some of, and these are obviously the small majority, the small minority, like elitists, but there are some PlayStation players who have put it in their mind that they need to turn off cross-plat play because they don't want to play with Xbox players.
I believe that the amount of players that are actually doing that are tantamount to the amount of players who boycotted Sword and Shield when they announced that Pokemon wasn't going to be able to collect them all. Like, there was a big thing back then where I was like, oh, we're not going to buy Pokemon because they're not all in Sword and Shield. And then Sword and Shield were like the best-selling Pokemon games of all time. So, you know, I struggle to believe that that is a reasonable amount. Now, that being said, there's been weird things before where, like, PlayStation doesn't let its logo show up on other platforms. Like, they show up as, like, a generic controller icon in Destiny 2 when you're on Xbox. But if you're on PlayStation, they show up with the PlayStation icon, they show up with everything. So, like, it's quite possible that the PlayStation players I'm seeing are actually showing up as generic PC symbols. Don't know. Yeah, that is a very good point, Assassin. This is the same people who said that only 45,000 copies of Final Fantasy VI were sold, and they based all of their analytics on how many reviews existed on the store for the game.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that's a lot. And I actually asked them direct questions like, how are you accounting for the fact that different stores review stuff at different rates? And their person said to me, what? ? And I'm like, okay. Well, if you're saying that you can calculate the amount of games sold on Xbox as being similar to the amount of games sold on Steam, where people actually care about reviews on Steam versus I didn't know Xbox had a store review feature until your article, we're going to have a little bit of a problem here.
Yeah. Also, too, like, I think Steam, well, until recently, they used to be very, fairly reliable, but there has been some people who have kind of ruined the system to try to push their politics on things. I did see where they were like, "Oh, we'll, you know."
Well, no, it's literally not the way things are reviewed. It's literally the amount of reviews. They're saying that you can judge how many copies of a game have sold on a store by how many reviews the store's page has.
Yeah, no,
not what's in the reviews, just the number of the reviews.
Yeah, no, I was deviating. I was saying like Steam in general too, like has going off the thought of you mentioning the whole review thing. I was saying, like, it is unique thinking of Steam where they've been seen as more reliable when it comes to player reviews versus thinking of Microsoft, thinking of that. Just a thought that I had when you mentioned that. But yeah, I mean, the numbers we can't say for sure one way or another, but I will say, just as an anecdotal thing, I saw tons of people on Helldivers.
Yes.
On my friends list,
100%.
everybody was on that thing. And when I finally jumped back into a party on Xbox, off the PC, of course, people were asking me left and right, hey, Umbra, jump in the game with us, Umbra, jump in the game. So it's definitely taken off. And you know, it's unique too, right? I'll say this.
Yes.
It's unique because, for one, it feels like a crazy time right now as a gamer, us going through what we saw for decades as this console war, right? And to now see a first-party PlayStation game
with an Xbox crossover on an Xbox,
and an Xbox first-party game such as Gears, which is insane to see because I still feel like I'm going to feel away when Halo goes over there, but I know it's happening. But like to see that happening right here, and for the success that it's having for both, it's crazy because Microsoft has had like top 6 games on PlayStation storefront.
And PlayStation Helldivers was 2 of the top 5.
That is insane.
Because
it's
right? Collector's Edition was a different slot.
Right.
Or limited, or the Digital Deluxe.
The Digital Deluxe, yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but to me, I would say this. If that player count is anywhere close to a million, basically a million sold, to me, and, I think this was in their plans already based off what Totoki had said, this to me opens up the floodgates a bit where they're going to start putting more games. I don't disagree. Yeah.
Because and the other thing this had going for it, that's one thing that could be a reason why it sold more on Xbox. It had an ODST crossover.
Yes,
I
sir.
originally wasn't going to get the game. I was like, because I was like, whatever. And then they teased the ODST crossover. And I was like, okay. And then they revealed the crossover and like all of the guns that came over and like the armor and just I was like, all right, pre-ordered. I pre-ordered it while I was at work on my phone.
Yep. I don't blame you. When I saw that, I was like, yep, you got me. Now, I had already owned the game on PS5. I put significant hours into it. I also have it on PC. I was gifted it. Shout out to my buddy who gave me that. And I got like 9 hours in it on PC. The one thing I do wish they had was cross progression. I don't like that they don't have that.
Correct. Yep. 100%.
But other than that, man, I saw that and that reinvigorated me to see the Halo ODST. And what's cool is the devs behind this, Arrowhead, they have not shied away from showing their love for Halo. Like they've been clear. They've said it.
100%.
Yeah. Like even
they were the ones who approached Microsoft about the crossover.
Yeah, absolutely.
Microsoft didn't go to them. They went to Microsoft and said, we want to do it.
And that was the rumor.
And
remember, that was the rumor,
like,
if you all remember. That was the rumor that Microsoft apparently went to them and was like, oh, we'll cover the development or at least the port fees and we'll give you this much of a cut. That was the claim. But no, that was not it. That was not the situation. PlayStation did.
PlayStation wanted to bring it. PlayStation was the main driving force behind bringing it to Xbox. Mm-hmm. That's what the CEO of Arrowhead said publicly.
Yep.
And the Arrowhead were the driving force behind getting Halo in it, but Halo Studios worked with them closely to make sure everything was just right.
Yep. That exactly.
And that is
it's beautiful.
That is big.
It is big and it's beautiful. Like to see, it just feels unreal, so to speak, right? I had to throw Unreal in there somehow. People who know. Those who know me with my Unreal Engine love. But yeah, it's just it's a different era, boys. It's a different era. It's just still hard to wrap the head around it, so to speak. Shout out to my brother Assassin in the chat. I see you. Yeah, Mort is going to get his wish for sure. In 10 years, it'll be only Nintendo and PC, he says. You might be right. We'll see.
people aren't going to abandon their libraries that they're building up. The only way that Xbox as a platform or PC as a platform die are if they do not support the purchases you've already made. They may not grow anymore. They may not get any bigger than what they are. But there's no way people abandon all their stuff. No way. I don't believe it.
I do wonder about the future, seeing how they're kind of like, to me, I see where Microsoft is going, and it's very PC-esque fusion.
Yeah.
You know, so I do wonder how that's going to work out in the long run. I mean, I'm satisfied one way or another. I've made my decision. I've moved to PC, but
Sure.
I am interested in seeing where they go with it. But I don't think they will abandon console gamers either. Personally, they'll have some option to be a third party.
They're going to
OEM or
release a
whatever.
thing that is a PC and also supports the console games. They're going to keep doing that.
I think so.
All right,
least,
I have
or at
two
least they'll
pieces
have a
of-
third party do it too, if not themselves. But yeah,
So I want to move us along, just because if we don't, we aren't going to get to any of the big topics. And there's still a couple of good ones here. Ubisoft, bunch of projects in development. Not going to name them all. Go read the Insider Gaming article on it. Big thing, remake of Rayman, due out next year.
yes, sir.
Otherwise, they listed a bunch of things.
Definitely have to look into it. Shout out to BT, by the way. I see you, BT. You got
Yeah.
2 levels left. Nice. You know what? What else did we have? Because you're right, we do.
Yeah, I'm gonna list things off real fast. EA
right.
Sports withdrew its college basketball video game proposal because everyone wants to work 2K instead at the college level. I don't care. Sports game. I'm not gonna play it. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't care.
No,
Amen.
it's worth throwing it out there though. Yeah.
It's worth throwing it out there. Kojima, 10-year production. It's gonna show off his games on September 23rd. It's going to be talking about a glimpse of future projects. So expect to see a little bit of OD. Expect to see a little bit of Fizzant.
That's what I was wondering. Will we see OD?
Yeah. I like OD's the next one. So
Right.
you're more likely to see OD than Fizzant. I would expect you see something from both, though. CDPR put out a message about September 4th, which was today, and I don't think anything actually happened. They put out a weird message teasing something on social media, so I don't think anything came of that.
You know, that's actually funny you say that. Yeah, I forgot. They did say it was going to be something. I didn't know it was today.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was supposed to be today.
Maybe they saw the news with Silksong and was like, nope, delay it.
Yeah. And person, I'm trying to find the name, I can't find it, but person from Rare is now the chief of staff of Xbox Game Studios. Only at Xbox can you fail upwards.
Yeah, that is what's her
Because
name?
Matt Booty also did.
That's Louise O'Connor,
Yeah.
where she failed upward.
I will say she was the creative director of Everwild, but she was like the 4th creative director of Everwild.
That's
So
true.
like, I don't know that
you
I
put
can
it all on
like
her?
I say only at Xbox can you fail upward.
Yeah,
I don't know that she actually failed. She may have given that her damnedest, but she was like the 4th person to take over Everwild.
that is true.
She was not the 1st, and she was not the 2nd. I don't know if she was the 3rd.
and she's a veteran with Rare. Louise.
Yeah, so
chief of staff. Yeah, I mean,
but,
it is sad to see what happened with Everwild and everything with Rare.
yeah.
And like you said, if you put context into it, it's less worrisome, but it is crazy to see like, this last game we had that we were working on for 8 years or so, it's canceled, but you've been promoted. It is kind of odd to see.
But yeah, like I said, she wasn't actually in that position for that long, and she may have inherited a project she couldn't salvage. In fact, the person before her may have inherited a project they couldn't salvage, and Microsoft just was kind of too stubborn to cancel it in the first place. So I jest that only you can fail upwards there. And that may be true, it may not be true.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, that's all I have for the news roundup.
Okay, so thank you for that. Great job. So look, let's move into one of the main topics, which is I almost said GoldenEye. It's the 007 GoldenEye is so ingrained into my head. I can't even. So we have 007 first Light, which was shown during the PlayStation State of Play the other day. And
did they show other stuff during that, by the way? I only watched the okay.
They did not. It was
just that for 30 minutes. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
literally just that. Let me see if I can grab that. Okay, there we go.
Collector edition looks sick.
It did look pretty sick, yeah.
Actual golden gun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hold on, let me...
Dots, I don't think you watched that, did you?
No. I think the only thing James Bond related I saw was that the Hitman DLC.
Okay, so yeah, this is the IO Interactive is making a James Bond game that they also made Hitman. That's why they put the James Bond stuff in.
Oh, okay, that was the connection. Okay,
that is the connection. Yeah, because I was like, I've spoken with you since this came out, and I don't think you saw it.
I've heard of it. I have not watched it though.
It is basically Hitman, but James Bond, and a little bit more narrative driven.
Checks out.
Yeah, it looks pretty spectacular.
It looks good. Yeah.
So
frame rate was rough.
Yeah, to be fair, they do have like a year or so left before they bring it out, so we do have that.
Yeah. Well, it's half a year. I believe it's coming out in March.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. So I'm trying to
fix if 2026 doesn't feel like it should be that close. I know. It feels gross to say that 2026 is like 4 months away.
Yeah. So I'm going to play the gameplay for it for a second. And I got to step away for one moment. I'll be right back.
That's fine. Chat, how did you feel about 007? Because I watched a little bit of the gameplay. I did not actually watch this direct. I fell asleep. I mean, it looks like the developers of Hitman made a James Bond game. Like, that's what it looks like. And that is fine. That sounds really good. It looks great. I thought that it was a little the frame rate made me a little nervous that like this was the vertical slice that they sold to Sony to make a 30-minute state of play on, and it had that much rough frame rate sections in it. But it does look like it's going to be spectacular. And Dots and I in our friend group have a couple of friends who are Hitman fiends, and I know that they were very excited with the details that came out of this.
Yeah, James Bond actually has a small special place in my heart for the sheer fact that my older brother had like the massive 30+ CD collection of every single James Bond movie ever made, from the very beginning to The World Was Not Enough, or whatever the last one was before Daniel Craig took over the James Bond movies. And I watched so many James Bond movies in my young life. My favorite is still the most campy one ever, and that's Moonraker. It is.
I've only ever seen one.
Which one have you seen?
I've only ever seen Thunderball.
Really?
I have only ever seen Thunderball. I've seen enough. Again, I've seen enough like scenes and stuff from them to basically put together almost every movie. But I've never sat down and just watched any of them but Thunderball. I've been meaning. I really have been meaning to sit down and watch the Daniel Craig ones, because I really, really want to see the newest one, because I love Rami Malek. He's the villain in the newest one.
Yeah.
So I've been really meaning, and I really want to see Quantum of Solace. That's the one with, or no, was Quantum of Solace the first Daniel Craig one, or was Casino Royale?
Casino Royale, because that was Casino Royale's actually based on the book, the first ever James Bond mission appearance ever.
Okay, because that's the one that has what's his face as the villain.
The guy they put in the Hitman video game.
Yeah, I love the actor. I can't think of his name. He plays is it Mads Mikkelsen?
It is Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, I love him. He's great. And so like I've been wanting to watch that one. I've been wanting to watch the newest one. There's
Well,
so
I mean,
many. How many James Bond movies are there?
a lot. Like, honestly, if you want to watch is the new one still Daniel Craig, or is he
Yes,
done?
it's the final Daniel Craig one.
Okay, you might as well just watch all of them because all the
Yeah.
Daniel Craig ones are connected. Unlike the past James Bond movies where they're just kind of one-off missions that don't have any, even if the actor is the same.
Looks like there's like 25 or so.
27.
27. Okay, you know what? I think I have seen. I think I watched GoldenEye while I had my wisdom teeth out. I think it was on the TV because I've seen clips of GoldenEye and I'm like, I've seen this. And I think that is where I saw because like GoldenEye, I believe I've seen GoldenEye too. We can say I've seen two. Because like every time I see a clip of GoldenEye, I'm like, oh, I have seen this. But I've seen Thunderball. I love the intro music to Thunderball. It's so good.
The intro music to almost every
All
James
of them
Bond
are
movie,
good. Yeah.
which is so funny when I make one either people are making fun of or the absurdity of the lyrics for Snake Eater.
Sure.
It is
yeah.
literally
a
a homage to James Bond intros because like you have, I don't remember which one it was, but it was the Adele song, but like it was Skyfall, but it had like all the weird black tentacles that were wrapping around naked women's bodies. It's just like, yeah, no, that's just James Bond. That's just normal.
Yeah. But yeah, like visually, like this game looks really good. There's just some stuff where I noticed it when like I had it on my other screen, and I noticed out of the corner of my eye, I could even notice that the frame rate drops. And when I can see that out of the corner of my eye, that can be bad. Like you're not gonna see it here. It's during some of the action sequences. But like this game does look really, really spectacular. You back in Umbra? Okay, he's not back yet. You know how I've been doing that research into backwards compatibility dots?
Mm-hmm.
The James Bond games from EA and the James Bond games from Activision are two of the biggest things that people want to see like come back. Just get them like relicensed and back up. The big one, the big two are Quantum of Solace. The people want that game back, and then there's one of the EA ones, and I'm trying to remember which one it is. I think Gene Park of Washington Post was even talking about that game earlier today. Let me see if I can find out which one it is. One sec. I just got to scroll a little bit. Oh, it was 007 Everything or Nothing. And it was for the PS2 and the original Xbox. Because I've heard that those games are kind of like cult classics. Gene was referring to them as like they were like Uncharted before Uncharted. But yeah, I think that this game is gonna be a hit next year, even if it is literally just James Bond hit name. Fuzzy Tomato, Agent Under Fire, and Nightfire. I know I own Nightfire because I picked up a handful of the James Bond games when I was at a used game store not too long ago, and I know I own Nightfire. I think I own Agent Under Fire too, so I'm also very much want to see both of those come back. I think there was 4 EA and 2 Activision James Bond games, if I remember correct, from the research I just did. Because I had asked a bunch of people on Twitter to give me feedback for what games they wanted to see come back over backwards compatibility, and there was a lot of repeats, like a lot of games that like people were bringing up multiple times. And the James Bond games, they kept coming up. And that's when I learned that not only did EA make James Bond games, but Activision did too. But yeah. I don't know what else to talk about the 007 game because, like, I don't have much else to talk about the 007 game. Dots, have you played any of the new Helldivers update yet?
I have.
How are the giant bugs?
I have yet to fight any of the dragons. I have witnessed the Hive Lord, though.
Is the Hive Lord the one that has, like...
the giant worm that takes 10 hell bombs to kill?
Okay.
Yes, I have witnessed it. I have not killed it because I was not prepared to fight it at all.
Is there even any reward for killing one of them?
You get XP. It's like a secondary side mission, if you can even call it that.
Yeah, I need to get on and play some of that this weekend. Oh, it looks like early access codes for Ghost of Yotei just went out.
Cool.
I'm seeing a couple people online saying that it looks like the embargo goes live at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 25th. Wow, they gave a lot of time to review that. Holy crap. That's a 3-week review period. That's kind of crazy.
That speaks to a lot of confidence.
That does speak to a lot of confidence.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
That's okay. We started talking about like old James Bond games.
Yeah. So, what's you guys' thoughts on this game? Like, to me, from what I saw when I watched the state of play, for one, it looks fantastic.
Visually, like look at that.
Yeah.
How can you like that is incredible looking.
It looks damn good.
Very
Hitman-esque in some ways.
I don't know how to describe it, but it looks both realistic and stylized at the same time.
I see what you mean.
The person they didn't go for hyper realism.
Right.
They went for enough realism and then like almost like a layer on top of their faces that like it's not showing every pore, but it doesn't look bad because it's not showing every pore the character has in their skin. Right.
It has a bit of a sheen.
Yes, and I think that's really important because I find that the games that go for the hyper realism often end up getting an uncanny valley look after a few years because a new game has gone for hyper realism that has outdone it. Whereas this looks really, really good, but I think it will also age really, really well visually.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Also, just the environment looks really, really good. Like, look at this. This is obvious. It has obvious Hitman undertones.
This is Hitman, the 007.
Yeah, 007
and I think that's
version.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think that having James Bond have multiple ways to complete his objectives inside the area, which, you know, James Bond's not here to assassinate someone every time, you know, in everything. I think that that's a very, very good play. And the fact that, like, later, because, I mean, this was a half an hour thing. The fact that later you see some, like, intense, like, scripted action sequences that are very not like Hitman is also really good. Like this looks like a game that people will be quite happy playing.
Yeah, for sure. And it has the elements of, you know, him going around using his gadgets, things of that nature.
This is a very me game.
Yeah. This has me on lock as well so far. Like, also too, what I compared it to is it's the obvious Hitman roots from the team, you know. But I would say Uncharted, right? I think was a bit of their inspiration.
I think that you see the Hitman elements when he's like inside that ballroom, looking around, walking around, you know, scanning for objectives and stuff. Yep. And then like once he's broken into this car and the action sequences start, that's where I get the Uncharted.
For sure. Or if he's like doing a shuffling around a building to to like climb and clamber. I see a bit of Uncharted in that. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that that's something. There's some people who complain that they'll complain that oh, this looks just like Hitman, or oh, this looks just like Uncharted. And I'm like, what's the problem in that? When games take a trillion years to make, there's more ways to be original than coming up with something totally new. If you can blend two ideas together and make a totally new game, then
have at it.
What's the For example, FromSoft with Night Rain, not my jam because I don't like Souls-likes. But FromSoft integrating the concept of a battle royale, the zones closing in plus their stuff. That's none of that's original, but it is original because no one's done the combination of those two things before, right? And I think that the fact that this looks like you're combining Hitman with an action adventure game like Uncharted or the newer Tomb Raiders or stuff or even Assassin's Creed to an extent. I think that that's not only fine. I think that that is kind of something we need to see more of in the industry, so we get games made faster. It is okay to be derivative, just be uniquely derivative, right?
Yeah.
Be derivative in a way that people haven't been derivative before.
I think that's a great way of putting it. Yeah. And like you said, what is wrong with that? Oh, it looks like this, though. Who cares? Is it? Well, and it's weird when I see that type of expression.
I hate that. Yeah. I hate people.
Yeah, it's odd, right? People, nothing is going to be wholly original for one. And for me, I feel like as long as you make a great whatever it is, game or whatever, that's all that matters to me. I say that too because oddly enough, I was reading up. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as you all may know, he has this new movie coming out. I forgot the name of it right now, where he's playing.
It's got really good reviews, right?
Yeah, it's getting crazy reviews.
Insane reviews.
This lady wrote a little thread on Twitter. She was like, "Oh, he's just doing this for Oscar bait," and I'm like, "All these good reviews, so he decided to turn in a good performance for Oscar bait," and I'm like, "Okay,
yeah."
So say that's the case. Shouldn't you be applauding that he's turning in a good performance for?
Yeah.
Who cares? That's good. That's a good thing. So I feel you on that.
You have RGG Studios who puts out a new freaking Yakuza game every year, and they have some wild new stuff in them, but a lot of the stuff's the same. And the fans of Yakuza don't bat an eye. And you know why they don't bat an eye? Because it's really good games.
That's true.
And I really, really wish we could get over the stigma of every new game needs to be completely new. Because if we didn't, and they could, and the Spider-Man nonsense was the most nonsense. And same with Breath of the Wild, because it was the same conversation we had twice, where they were like, "Oh, they're just reusing the map of New York City." I'm like, "Yeah, what are they supposed to do? Where are they supposed to put Spider-Man?" I guess technically it was in Chicago for a little bit, but we really talking about Spider-Man here, and who cares if they reuse the map of New York? We're getting the games out faster.
Well,
they put out 3 games in how fast?
You'd have to be in New York, so what's the problem?
Yeah, it boggles my mind.
Yeah, that's a weird complaint. That's a weird.
Be
complaint.
happy, we're getting shit faster.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this game looked good. It looks good.
Well, when do we trade speed for quality, though? Where's the?
Where's so that come in? If you've hit Assassin's Creed, you've gone too far. Genuinely, though, it's the same conversation because that's not iterating enough.
Well,
and that's getting too set in your way.
I will say though, Assassin's Creed Shadows was pretty damn good.
And they took a bit more time between Shadows and
Valhalla. That's true.
To get there. They took enough more time.
Yeah.
And in that time, they iterated, but they iterated in a clever way where they created a shorter game with Mirage, right?
True.
When you get to how Assassin's Creed was from the Unity to Syndicate era, let's put it that way. That's when you've gone too far in rushing things out. When you get to the Call of Duty putting a game out a year and none of them feel good, you've gone in the wrong direction.
Yeah, for sure. Never go full Call of Duty.
Never go full Call of Duty.
This part right here is just visually nice too. This is more of the Uncharted part that kicks in for me right here.
The explosions in this are now I'm a little bit like, why is there an explosive barrel every 3 feet? But like, I don't care.
Yeah.
This is an action game based on an action movie series. Like, I don't care. Blow everything up.
This is 007
Michael
made by
Bay.
Snyder.
You want to have a couple levels that are Michael Bay the level?
Yeah,
that's
or
fine.
Michael
But
Bay.
there
I
is
can
an
see that too.
explosive barrel every
Yeah.
3 feet.
Snyder. This is Snyder / Michael Bay cut right here.
Genuinely, if you had told me, like, if you had removed the 007 branding and you had told me that this was a game designed to be in the John Wick universe, I'd be like, all right.
That was my other thought. I thought it was John Wick, Hitman, and Uncharted is where I felt, especially when you see him in like the museum areas on like some of the gameplay.
Sure.
He's throwing a weapon at their head. Very John Wick-esque. John Wick clearly did that more than a few times.
Also, can we talk about how we have now had 2 games in the last like 2 years that have had throwing your gun as an option and like beating people with the gun?
Yeah.
Because like Indiana Jones did it too.
Mm-hmm. It did,
And it feels so satisfying. And like in this, it looks satisfying when he takes the gun and just beats someone with it.
Nice. Oh, speaking of indie DLC, speaking of indie, Gray Monad said he's playing the DLC right now. He said it's good, loving it so far. Nice.
I will pick that up eventually.
That's it. Mind you, I didn't know that was dropping today. I thought that was later this month.
See, my achievements broke in Indiana Jones. I could never finish the cogwheels in
that's the last place I was at.
Sukotai map, and like their fixes didn't fix it for me.
Oh, but did you have the same issue that Rand had?
What
Rand
issue?
had
Yeah.
that. He had almost I think all the achievements except that one.
I have
because
all the
gears.
achievements except for that one, which blocks me out of 2 other ones.
Ah.
And so I would probably be playing that DLC right now because I love that game so much. But like that soured it at the very end for me when I couldn't 100% a game that was designed as a collectible, like a investigative collectathon, and I couldn't finish it.
Okay, I see.
Also, can we talk about how badass it is that like that thing is spinning at him and he jumps up on it, it spins around, he gets in it and starts driving it?
Yeah, that was pretty
total
good.
nonsense.
Yeah.
But like I like
pure action
I know
movie
enough
stuff.
about James Bond to know that is like, you know, it's in the air of like Mission Impossible James Bond, like the action movies where you expect the nonsense set pieces like that, and that just looked awesome.
Yeah. It's got a lot of bombastic set pieces. I like that. I'm actually excited to see more. Another part that felt very Uncharted was this airplane scene where if anyone has played like Uncharted 3, you know, you fall out of cargo and such.
Yes.
Yeah.
The plane.
Yeah. I like, too, how the guy's trying to shoot, but because of the obvious wind, is making his aim go off and the bullets go in different directions. Yeah, no.
Yeah, this game looks good.
It looks really good. We can move on from this, but I I will be getting this very likely on Steam. I'm gonna get it on PC, but looks phenomenal. I'm very excited for this. What do you all think about the guy they got for Bond? Do you think he looks Bond enough for you? Do you expect me to?
I've seen 2 Bond movies. I don't know, and I know Daniel Craig.
he looks young. He looks like definitely.
You know, Pierce Brosnan and Craig, right?
This is supposed to be like very early on in his career, right? That's why it's called First Light.
So Casino Royale was, like I said, the beginning, and that's like it's in that story that he like earns his 00 designation. Okay. But so if this is either before he has the 00 designation, or if this is like directly after, then you know.
Yeah.
But no, Umbra, I don't know how many James Bond movies have you watched, and just out of curiosity.
I've seen maybe about 7 or so.
Okay.
From all over, from probably more than 7. I think it may be about 8 or 9, considering Craig's, all the Pierce Brosnans. I've seen a few Sean Connerys too, so more than that actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling Crusader that when I was growing up, my older brother had like the full box set collection that had every single one.
Yeah.
Until it was from start to finish until the Daniel Craig, but right before the last one before Daniel Craig took over. So it had all of them, and I watched so many of them all the time. And my favorite. What's your favorite? I'm just curious.
If I had, it's hard to pick. I guess we got to go by eras. But if I had GoldenEye, I loved obviously.
Golden Guy's awesome.
I loved Casino Royale.
Very good.
Thought it was a nice little different take, and when he had him tied up to the chair, and that was crazy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you thought.
I was like, oh, that's terrible. I always loved like the old school puns and the old ones. He's like, what do you expect me to beg? No, I expect you to die, Mr. Bond.
Have you seen Moonraker?
I don't believe I have. That's with what's his name in it? Moore, right? I think.
Yeah, it is the most campy one.
Is it? Okay.
By far. It is so campy. Like there is almost zero level of seriousness. There's a space battle where it's just it's just guys in astronaut suits floating at each other with laser guns.
Oh wow.
It is so, and like the main like bad guy hench villain is Jaws. I think he's a reoccurring one. And he's like this guy who just has like these massive
mouth.
like metal grills.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's the subplot in the movie where he gets a girlfriend. Like it's so campy, and it's my favorite James Bond movie. But it shows that like with the Daniel Craig, it is very much, you know, there's the dark. It's dark. There's the whole thing with his girlfriend dying and like him trying to get revenge on that, and Judi Dench being an awesome M, and that Q, and like kind of setting up this, because the whole Daniel Craig thing is setting up the beginning of the series that then you go back to the old movies, and that's kind of like because that was his origin, and that's why M's a guy and all that stuff. Obviously, It's a little weird because, you know, the technology in the Daniel Craig movies are, you know, you have this nice 2025 or 2023 BMW being used versus, you know, the classic cars. But like, but no, I'm obviously with the video game, he looks fine. I mean, it's a British guy. That's the criteria for being James Bond, is you're a British man. And like, no, I'm looking forward because like I said, James Bond actually has a special place in my heart because of my older brother and the movies that he had that I would watch all the time. And if you've not seen Moonraker, that is my recommendation for the most campy James Bond film ever conceived.
I have to watch it now. I have to see it. But yeah, like I love the old school puns and stuff like that in those movies too, and the lady's name. What was the lady name? Octopussy. What was that?
Oh, that was one of the movies.
That was the name of the movie, Octopussy. But what was that lady's name in there?
I don't remember.
They have weird, like really crazy names, and if you all seen like Austin Powers, they play on that, right?
No. The girl's name is Octopussy.
So yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Like, wasn't her name something weird like that? And there's other names too. Like they have a lot of weird names in these movies. So I've always appreciated that, even beyond the campiness. It's like, let's give you this outlandish name for the female love interest. Has always been funny to me. That said, let's move on because we are. Clearly a bit over time now. We are over 2 hours. I want to say I will quickly cover these because it's not a lot to cover for them, but it's enough to mention. And that is, let me find this really quick.
We have Imperfect Dark, right?
Imperfect Dark. I guess the first one I'll show is Hollow Knight. How about we cover go into that really quick, and then we can move to the Imperfect Dark. I did see someone mention that in the chat asking about it. Excuse me. So, Hollow Knight released to a ton of fanfare, if you all have not been paying attention. And
you mean Silksong?
Hollow Knight Silksong, to be exact.
Okay.
Thank you. So right now, and to this credit to this person's tweet, who is this, Luca Tony, all of us witnessed it. Why did my screen look like that? Hold on, let me correct my screen. we go. Okay. So credit to Luca Tony here. Obviously, we all witnessed it. Me and Crusader, we were going through it earlier, trying to get the game and download it and buy it. And this game had been so many people went on to buy this at the same time or download it at the same time. It caused a crash across Xbox, Steam, PlayStation, and Nintendo eShop all at the same time.
PlayStation, it didn't break. PlayStation, their store just didn't have it indexed for like 3 hours. You couldn't buy it for like 3 hours after everyone else was fixed.
They just didn't even have it on there. It was just like...
Correct. That happens a lot with PlayStation where like the games don't get listed on the store right, and it takes forever for them to actually be purchasable.
So it was just human error on their side. Okay.
The human or just the system is bad.
Yeah.
Like their store user experience is not good.
Okay, so that's crazy. But it was a lot of different store from aside from PlayStation, at least. Everyone else's had a ton of issues.
Everyone else's was broken.
Yeah, and I'm at first I'm like, maybe it's just some type of DDS attack, whatever they call those things. Maybe it's some type of attack or a network attack, right? Something. But no, it was just people were hyped to get into Silksong. And then you start seeing the concurrent players. And, this is to a PC gamer here, although there are several articles already up about this. Silksong has the 18th highest all-time player count in Steam history as it draws over 500,000 concurrent players in its first 4 hours. It says, the day is finally upon us. The gates are open. The Silk is singing. The bugs are depressed. And after 6 years of waiting, people are finally playing Hollow Knight Silksong, a lot of people. While the Skong frenzied masses left Steam store and server infrastructure as smoking ruin for a few hours, it only delayed what's become a still rising flood of first-day players. At the time of writing, more than 500,000 people are playing Silksong on Steam, and the numbers increasing every time I refresh the Steam DB chart. In its first 24 hours, Silksong's all-time peak player count is already the 18th highest in Steam history, and it'll likely rank higher before the day's out. As a comparison, the original Hollow Knight's day one concurrent player count on Steam peaked at 812 players.
Yep.
Wow.
That was a word-of-mouth game. It exploded later.
Yeah, it did. It did not have immediate success. It had it after a while. And it did eventually, I believe it sold like 15 million, but that could have been sales and stuff. They didn't sell it at full price, obviously, because you can get the game at like dollars at times here and there, over time. But they said that is a roughly 615 time. That says roughly 615 times more players on this one than the first. That just goes to show how wanted this game was and how big the following grew because of that first one. What's your thoughts on it?
And it also had that everyone was expecting it for every show, which made people expect it for every show, which kind of it caused Hollow Knight to kind of have this secondary resurgence of popularity because people found out about it because people where's Silksong? And to be 100% with you, Elden Ring actually had something similar too, where Elden Ring every show is where's Elden Ring, where's Elden Ring, where's Elden Ring. Mm-hmm. And that led to that actually really helped Elden Ring break into the casual audience before its launch, because that game would have broken into the casual audience after its launch. But that the same effect is very, very clear that these games, because they were so anticipated and just kept not showing up places, kind of built on this hype, and people learned what they were because they were not present. But this is wild. This is the fact that it completely broke Steam. It wasn't just its page. You couldn't see anything on Steam. You could not access the store pages at all. You could download your library and stuff, but you could not see the store at all. Xbox, it only broke the page for Silksong itself. Nintendo, I believe it broke the whole eShop, which not shocking.
Yeah, Nintendo, I expect
not shocking. and PlayStation, I saw the most interesting thing on PlayStation where the game showed up that it was available, or that it was available as of today, but there were no purchase buttons for 4 hours.
Wow.
It said that it released, but you could not buy it.
Yeah, I saw.
They
I talked
eventually
to.
had to remove it from the store and re-add it.
Wow. So I had a few buddies who had bought it, and it was not showing up in their cart, or at least their bought games for a while too
Yep.
on Xbox. So yeah, very weird. I'm going to buy it. I just waited because there was so much issues going on. I'm like, I'm not about to frustrate myself, so I just downloaded it through Game Pass. So this is another Game Pass W. And just to throw it out there, and Dots, I do want to get your thought on it. This kind of dispels one of the thoughts. Now, sure, I'm sure somebody can say, well, it didn't work in this case, but it worked here. But one of the narratives that are always pushed is that Game Pass obviously would cannibalize sales, which it does, to be fair, in some cases. But people typically use that as a bludgeon to say Game Pass is hurting gaming, right? Or that it's hurting sales for games. It's gonna hurt. But this right here, when you have some games that are so beloved and well sought after, and the quality is known as a known commodity rather, that people will buy these games. And let's just throw it out there: the game is $20.
That's the price of Game Pass.
That's crazy.
Or Ultimate.
Yeah. And so it's a well priced game. It's likely going to be a 40+ hour game, right? More than likely.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts about that when it comes to this, and how, even though like this is on Game Pass, which shout out to Team Cherry again, getting the Game Pass bag and these sales. What's your thoughts about this in Game Pass and their success of Hollow Knight Silksong?
I'm happy for them. Like I generally, I'm glad the wait is over. I think them being on Game Pass is not going to hurt them in the slightest. I mean, They put a $20 price tag on it, and look at the Steam numbers alone. Like it's they're getting what the hype was for. I'm personally very curious of how long until the tourists stop playing, because there's almost certainly a number of people who are getting into it for the hype alone, and they are going in not expecting to play a Dark Souls Metrovania. So I'll be a little curious how that impacts the numbers once the hype dies down. Obviously, the hype of it coming after 6 years was what was keeping Silksong alive for so long. So, like, moving on after that, what comes next is going to be another. I'm sure they'll have DLC, because they had DLC for Hollow Knight too.
This was supposed to be DLC for the original Hollow Knight,
right? But I'm sure that this will now get DLC
100%
post launch.
I think they already announced it. Actually,
did they?
I think they did.
I don't know.
Would you feel like it could be cut content?
Last time I checked their Twitter, they had like 4 posts total.
Yeah.
Ever.
Somebody, I didn't see it for myself, to be fair. Somebody mentioned it to me, like, "Oh yeah, they announced the DLC." Or
I think they announced like post-launch that they had post-launch plans. I think is what they said.
Okay.
So I don't know if it'll be paid DLC or if they have plans for like more quality of life stuff. Because they did a lot of like free quality of life stuff for Hollow Knight too.
Mm-hmm.
Like new difficulty modes and stuff like that they just added.
It's something else to be said about it. I mean, there's another question. I guess I'll float out that to you guys. You all can tackle it however you want, and we can move on. The pricing. I mentioned the pricing before, and I look at this and I look at games like Shinobi, which I praise to the heavens, and even Ragebound. And these games you're getting 20+ hour. Depending on how you play. For me, if I love it enough, I'm going to play it all the way through, get all the achievements, etc. But you're getting these quality games for such a great price, and especially in a situation we're in economically, and the price rising on games, and now you have $80 games. Like, shout out, I guess, to you, Nintendo, for getting away with that nonsense. In the face of that, how do you guys feel about this, where indies are kind of leading the way again? And pushing, quality games out for a very low price. Like, how do you all feel about that in this industry situation, and do you feel like how the industry should respond when it comes to their AAA games and pricing?
So I have long felt that the industry needs to go to more dynamic pricing for stuff. Unironically, there's a lot of games that I think could probably be priced at $80. I also think there's a lot of games that can be priced less than that. There's also the question of will I pay $80 for it, and like that's a totally different question. I don't pay full price for most games. I wait for most games if they're on sale, unless it's something I desperately want to play. I have felt that the industry should be moving towards non-uniform prices for a very, very long time. I think that, like, for example, the Oblivion remaster being at $50 was an excellent decision. I think that like the Plague Tale games, both of those launched at below typical MSRPs. I believe they were both launched at either 40 or 50. In fact, the Focus Home has a trend of launching games at lower than lower than expected MSRP. I think that is a very, very good move for the industry. I think it will help get more games to sell more copies because more people are willing to try on them. Because that's the other thing about Game Pass is that Game Pass kind of gets you to try games. There's a whole kerfuffle about that earlier this week, but it's true. Like Game Pass gets you to try a game, and if you don't like it, you move on. Like that's just a fact. And putting games at lower price MSRP can kind of help with that concept. Of course, if you buy the game, you're probably stuck with it and you're gonna finish it. But if you price it lower, then people might actually be able to get it, especially since like the economic times are real bad right now for the middle and lower classes, with just like the prices of things going up tremendously around the board. That being said, I think Team Cherry underpriced their game here. Not that I'm gonna complain, but like those devs outright are like, we have not had to worry about money since we sold 15 million copies of our self-published game.
Right.
And they took a Game Pass deal, which outright is going to pay for the cost of like all the years of development, like for just their development costs. So the one dude is like, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I've been thinking about switching to a 1-bedroom apartment just so that I have less to clean. Like those guys are not worried about money. He's like, I could move into a mansion if I wanted to, but I don't want to.
Right.
And I think that kind of inspires because like, genuinely, those guys are making this game for the sake of making a fun video game for people to play, and so they priced it at a almost uncompetitive price point in the opposite direction. Because normally you think uncompetitive price point being super expensive, right? In this case, they're pricing it. They're undercutting their competition so much. Because I've seen a bunch of other indie devs posting online, like, I was thinking about pricing my game that's going to be like half the length at like $25, and people are like, no, it's okay to do that. This is wild. This is not going to set an expectation that these games should be priced at $20. Right. It's going to set an expectation that they shouldn't be priced probably above like 40, above like 35. But this is them pricing this at 20, which was the price of the original Hollow Knight before its DLCs. Yeah. And it has the same amount of content as Hollow Knight post DLCs. It's wild.
It is, absolutely.
And the only reason they can swing it is they don't have a publisher. Yeah. It's just 3 dudes. Yeah. And their last game was so successful that they can just do this. So I think everything about this game makes me happy.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in the same boat with you.
The only thing that's a little annoying is that they how long they went radio silent because this game was Kickstarter backed.
Right.
It was crowdfunded, and they went silent on their backers. Now, to be fair, they didn't really need the backers for this. This was a reach goal for the original Hollow Knight. It was to be a DLC. And it was promised to those backers. And they went silent on those backers. But it's not like a regular Kickstarter going silent where I was like, oh god, it's dead. It's not bad. It's just, I feel like the one thing that they could have done better was communication.
I feel like Speaking of communication, I mean, this is very unique where they just released it right here. Nobody got an advanced copy to review. Nothing. Like you all getting
So
it at the same time.
the advanced copies to review were explicitly also because of their backers.
Yeah.
They didn't want to give out copies to anyone earlier than their backers. Now they could have given the backers the copies at the same time as the reviewers,
True.
but those backers wouldn't be under an NDA.
Okay, I see.
So they elected to just give everyone the game on the same day. Now that being said, I do think part of the shit show we saw today with all of the storefronts being like absolutely broken is because I'm pretty sure that they finished the game, they pushed their gold version, they pushed it straight to certification and was like, we're releasing this as soon as we physically can. And that gave the storefronts not a lot of time to prepare for a large launch like this. Because we've had games with larger concurrent players and larger concurrent buyers not break all of the storefronts. Like the 2 million people playing Black Myth Wukong
right.
concurrently on Steam didn't break Steam. I think that they are partly to blame for how for the turnaround for as to why everything broke today. Because they didn't even have a price until like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
or like 3 days ago.
That's true. Like surprise,
and like
mother.
you couldn't purchase the game
Right.
until this morning.
That was odd too. Yeah, you couldn't
went live.
pre-purchase it or anything, or pre-install it, nothing.
I understand not doing the pre-install. Like, there's a lot of companies that don't do pre-installs, but the fact that you couldn't even pre-order it is kind of wild. Not that like I wildly support pre-ordering, but like if you're gonna purchase a game like a week before it comes out, that you're not setting a bad industry precedent. You're buying the game so that you can pre-download it a week before it comes out. But like, yeah, this. Everything about this game is so confusing and makes me so happy because it is good. People are really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a single bad thing online.
Yeah, me either.
Other than it broke all the stores.
That's about it. I guess it's a good problem to have. Dots, you got any thoughts on this one?
I think at least my perspective on at least the pricing point is that with a lot of indie games, if the game is enjoyable, people will happily throw more money at it. Because like I guess with my example would be I've played V Rising. I don't know if you ever heard about it. It's a top-down Diablo style vampire. You play as a vampire, but it's a crafting, gathering, build a castle survival game. And it has, I think it's a $30, $40 price tag. I think it's about $30. But it has a bunch of cosmetic DLC. When me and my fiance got it, we loved the game so much, we just bought the DLC because we wanted to support the developers. If games come out and they are fun and enjoyable and we want to keep playing, even if there's nothing to spend money on, we feel this desire to throw money at them because we like the game. Helldivers is doing it with their war bonds. I mean, unfortunately, Crusader and I have done it in Destiny 2 with certain collabs and other, armor cosmetics. But we mostly did during times we were enjoying the game, and so we didn't feel bad about throwing money at buying silver and then paying for skins that we'll never use again. Anywho, but like, so yeah, no, like if the game is a low price, you get into it, or it's on Game Pass and you get into it for free, quote unquote free, and you really enjoy it, you will. There's that incentive that I feel a lot of gamers have to throw more money at it because we love what the developer is doing. We want to support them, and we want to like keep playing that game or get more of that game. Hell, if Age of Mythology had something else to it that was like skins or some other cool little tidbit, I'd throw more money at them outside the DLCs that I'm already getting, which is much more than I was expecting. Because when me and Crusader heard, Age of Mythology is getting remade, we were like, awesome. And they're like, we're going to redo the Chinese faction that they screwed up in with the old version. because that was just kind of ramshackle bullcrap, and then they did really well with the Chinese faction. We're like, hell yeah, this is more. And then here come Japanese factions coming out this, and I think that I don't know what else is coming after that, but like, there's so many games out there that if their price point, what's another one? Like, the Star Wars Squadrons came out. It was a $40 one and done. And it was so well received that they dropped another update, added 2 more starfighters you could play as, and like people wanted more of that. And unfortunately, that was a one and done. So like we felt like we wanted to throw more at it and get more from it, but we couldn't. And if you want to talk about not super big companies, Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate 3, same thing. You buy Baldur's Gate, you get a complete game. They kept throwing updates at us, and it's like, bro, I want to throw more money at you. You're giving me so much. And obviously, yeah, you can go back in time and buy their old games if that's a way to support people. So I guess a lot of these tourists, if they really like Silksong, they can actually go back and buy Hollow Knight for the first time, because I can assure you there's a lot of people who got Silksong who did not have Hollow Knight. That's almost a guarantee.
I can see it. But yeah, great points, fellas. Great points. What time is it? Okay, let's quickly make this last topic appeal, which was about Imperfect Dark, as I called it. And it's due to some news that came out. Let me see if I can find this really, really quickly. Where is it? Sorry, scrolling to find the news. It was the news that came out, and there's an article written about it as well from Jason Schreier that you had also seen, Crusader. And it reads, Scoop, Perfect Dark was almost revived. Says the game developers were close to a deal with Take-Two to fund and publish the game, following its cancellation by Xbox in July, sources say. But negotiations fell through, leading to layoffs at Crystal Dynamics last week. So my question to you all, because when I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute, huh? And Crusader, maybe you can lead it, but
I can explain it.
I didn't get that, yeah. And mainly, largely, because if you read that, it's like, wait a minute, how would Crystal Dynamics be able to parlay any type of deal when it's a Microsoft IP?
Because you're acting as if Crystal Dynamics and Take-Two were the only people in these discussions. Xbox was also in
that's the weird way it's worded, right? So what was the whole situation? Please break it down.
So Crystal Dynamics was negotiating with Take-Two in order to have Take-Two take over the publishing of the game, because as was reported, and a lot of Xbox players didn't want to believe it, including myself originally, and then I was like, no, this is probably just correct. The initiative was only kind of like sort of leading the development of the game after Crystal Dynamics was brought in. Crystal Dynamics was actually the bulk of the development force on the game. And that's true if you just look at how many people the initiative employed. They only employed 60 people. And so Crystal Dynamics, in an effort to not lay off people, was attempting to negotiate another publisher picking up the publishing of that game, which would, to some extent, require Microsoft to be involved. Obviously, Microsoft was involved because Microsoft was negotiating with Take-Two over the ownership of the IP. Microsoft obviously didn't want to sell the IP, and this is why it collapsed. Take-Two obviously didn't want to publish the game without long-term ownership of the IP. Because, in essence, this would be the equivalent of licensing a game based on, Lord of the Rings, right? It's just that, instead of it being Lord of the Rings, which is held by Middle-earth Enterprises, you're licensing the IP from Xbox to have Crystal Dynamics, a studio you don't own, and an IP you don't own, and therefore you're not going to make money off of this venture indefinitely. You're not necessarily going to be able to make sequels if it's popular. So Take-Two didn't want to be involved, and Microsoft, from a corporate perspective, I suppose, is, they don't want to sell the IP because the IP has value and they can do something with it later. And perhaps maybe even the executives at Rare didn't want to sell the IP. And if that's the case, and that's something I literally just thought of, that's a little bit different, that they don't want to piecemeal off-sell the IPs that Rare held. They want to hold them within that subsidiary still. But ultimately, this kind of turns into... Have you ever seen Smiling Friends? Umbra? Or anyone in chat? I know Dots
I'm sorry.
has.
Repeat that for me.
You ever seen Smiling Friends?
Smiling Friends?
Yeah, it's a Adult Swim animated cartoon.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's
No.
funny.
It's pretty good.
And there's a scene in it where the CEO of this game company, and it's supposed to be making fun of Activision, but he's eating chicken nuggets and dunking the chicken nuggets in sauce, and he is just yelling, "It's my IP to sit on and do nothing with."
You're right.
Because that's what Microsoft's going to do here. They're going to sit on Perfect Dark and do nothing with it. After they tried to do something with it in 360 area with Perfect Dark Zero, and they failed. And they sat on it for a decade and a half. And now they're going to do it again. And so, from a corporate perspective, I get it. You don't want to sell your IP that has value. Most companies don't. Ubisoft recently did, which was strange. They sold a bunch of them to Atari. But Microsoft doesn't want to. And from a corporate perspective, I get the angle. From a consumer perspective, I'm not getting a game now, and I'm kind of pissed about that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because why do I care who actually own? Like, I kind of care if Microsoft was going to make the game. Like if it was a choice between who's making the game, I would want Microsoft to to own the game and make it, because it's going to be on Game Pass, and that saves me money.
Agreed.
But if it's a choice between having a company sit on a game and do nothing with it, or sell it to a company that's going to do something with it, of course, as a consumer, I would rather get the game and have to pay for it, because that is a game that I can play, versus the company doing nothing with it. Because I don't really give a shit that it's more beneficial to Microsoft to hold on to it. I'm not getting a game to play now as a player. And I think some people need to wake up and yell at companies when they do stupid shit, even if it is technically in their best interest, because it's not in ours.
Right.
It's not.
Agreed.
And so, yeah, like, is it crazy to think to want Microsoft to sell the IP to Take-Two? Yeah, kind of. Like, from a corporate perspective, it is kind of crazy. But, like, I don't really give a shit about that. I just want to play the game. And now we're not.
It sucks for us as consumers, like you said. That's the biggest thing. And this is similar to, by the way, how they pulled the deal off with Tango Gameworks and selling them off.
Right, exactly. And that was one thing. That was actually a wild thing that Microsoft did, was selling off Tango Gameworks.
Yeah.
But you also notice there, Microsoft didn't sell the IPs except for
Hi-Fi Rush.
Yep. They held on to the rest of it. Because these companies typically do not like to sell the IP. Because they feel that they can use it later. And for the most part, they won't be able to, because they won't have any of the original developers on it who worked on it. And they won't understand what made it special, and they'll release something that's shite. And it's just so frustrating that, like, and they don't even necessarily have to sell it. They could have come up with some, like, they came up with obscure crap to get the Activision Blizzard deal through, and licensed, like, Call of Duty for 10 years on the cloud to Ubisoft. Like, absolute nonsense. They could have licensed, like, Perfect Dark to Take-Two in perpetuity for a, like, guaranteed 10% revenue on all Perfect Dark content released, right? But it seems that the two companies were in a pissing fit over, we want to own it, and it, like, there's some fault at Take-Two there too, right? Because it takes two to negotiate, and obviously negotiations failed. And as an end result, Crystal Dynamics suffered, more layoffs. Right? People were hurt because Microsoft wouldn't sell this IP. People were hurt because Take-Two wouldn't license the IP. And so it's just, it's a really frustrating situation all around. We don't get to play a game, and people got laid off because it's my IP to sit on and do nothing with. Like for real. And this is one of those things where it's like, yeah, I wish more people would wake up and... Because, like, I've seen so many Xbox people being like, of course they wouldn't sell the IP. And I'm like, well, yeah, I know, because that's how they act. But why are we celebrating that? Because, like, this game is now dead. It's deader than dead. When it could have come back and we could have had something to play. And people wouldn't have lost their jobs, which probably should be the primary thing. People would have lost their jobs. And it would have been under, it probably would have been under 2K Publishing. And 2K Publishing, you get everything from Mafia: The Old World, that is like just a complete game without microtransactions, to the 2K Sports games, which are the opposite of there's no microtransactions. They're the furthest things from the absence of microtransactions.
Yeah.
So like, who knows how it would have turned out under 2K, but it would have existed. And yeah, the article does say that they were willing to invest $100 million into getting this across the finish line. $100 million more on this game. That's how much faith Take-Two had in it to get it done. And it's not happening. So that really makes me wonder what was there that was actually that, what did Take-Two see in it that they were willing to invest that much?
Yeah, that is something. It's unfortunate that it happened. I guess we never will be seeing it.
Yeah.
I don't see us getting any Perfect Dark in scenarios game in any time soon, unfortunately. But it was just something I found interesting when I saw it. I'm like, wait a minute. Crystal Dynamics, they just did this themselves?
Yeah, so they probably approached Microsoft and said, hey, can we pitch this to other publishers?
Makes sense.
So that we can avoid layoffs. And Microsoft was probably in an effort to avoid more bad publicity, was like, sure, you can pitch it. And then like everything collapsed and they laid people off and Microsoft got the bad publicity anyways. So,
Yeah. Perfectly said, brother. Dots, I don't know if you had anything to add to this. I think Crusader covered it all perfectly well, in my opinion.
Perfectly dark.
Imperfectly dark.
I got not much else to add on this. I'm kind of a non-issue for me.
Yeah. Yep. I think that covered it. Well said, Crusader. Good job. And that was the third and final topic for us for the night. I have to get running, folks, so we need to wrap this up. I want to say thank you all in the chat for being here and coming through. If you have not done so, hit the like button for us before you head out, and let's get these outros. Dots, let's start with you, brother. Thank you for joining us again. I was going to ask you, because you said it was Dots RTS. I'm like, why do I not see RTS? Now I see RTS. Did you change your name?
He changed it.
I had to change it. I changed it via Discord stuff because I'm Dots R Us and Dots RTS depending on where I am. But for social media purposes, it's Dots RTS.
Okay, got you. I'm like, I don't see no damn Dots RTS. Okay, now I see Dots RTS. All right, that solves it. Well, my brother Dots, thank you for joining us, man, and I would love to have you back on sometime if you're available. We got to speak some Warhammer into the world. I know, get you and Morty on a special episode or something. I don't know. But yeah,
honestly, thank you for inviting me. I mean, it was last minute. I was literally in the middle of a boss fight in Space Marine 2, and Crusader hits me a message. It's like, yeah, I'll join you. Sure. Okay. And then my internet started fritzing out. And I was like, what the hell's going on? But no, this was awesome. I was happy to get back into the podcast scene again. I did harass Crusader a little bit when he made his little
It's
announcement
true.
to our friend
He
group.
did.
Is like, I'm going to be on the fix like as a full time, and I'm like, you better invite me as a guest member because that's what happened last time.
It is what happened last time.
Nice.
But no, whenever I'm around, I would love to hang and talk with you guys about video gaming. Obviously, I might not have, as informed of information, say like as Crusader, who reads every news article that exists on the planet, but I've been gaming most of my life. I have some niche knowledge in certain things, like, apparently Warhammer and RTSs. But yeah, no, this was chill. I was really happy. Awesome to finally talk to you in person, Umbra. I've watched some of your podcasts before. You're a real chill dude, and love
nice.
to talk more with you guys.
Appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it.
But yeah, no, for outro wise, you can find me at DotsRTS on Twitter and on Bluesky. Also on Xbox Live and on Steam. Like it's all there. I'm chilling. I'm around.
It's all under Dots RTS. I got to make sure to put your information in the show notes as far as the description later.
I can send you stuff.
Yeah, and if you go to my Discord, almost all my links.
All
are
your
in my
links.
Discord,
Okay,
too.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect for me to add later, and along with the timestamps and such. And yeah, man, thank you for coming through and blessing us with your knowledge and your thoughts. And it was very last second. So and you put aside a boss fight for us from Warhammer. So W for you. Kudos. Thank you, brother. Crusader, my brother. Great job, man. You did the news roundup so expertly. You thought you had been here all this time.
I paid attention to Danny.
You paid attention. Yeah, man. You did great. Danny, shout out to him, by the way. He has some good things, good news possibly coming his way. And hopefully that works out for him. But tonight, like I said, we had my brother Crusader doing his thing. So, Crusader, thank you for that. And tell the good folks where they can find you and what you'll be up to.
I will be up to playing Chronos: The New Dawn, and Helldivers, and you can find me at Crusader3456 on most social media. Mostly, I am most active on Twitter. Follow me on Backlog. You can see like everything that I'm playing there. And there might be some cool stuff coming in the near future. Thought it was going to be today. Wasn't today. I have been doing a little bit of a side project with some people, and there will be some coverage of that soon.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
One day I'll make you play Jack 3. One day.
One day. In a world. But yeah. Thank you all in the chat again. As far as myself, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite, you'll find me either way on social media. And Tuesday's the Xbox Factor, hosted by Boom. It's myself and Jamie Moran at 12 o'clock Eastern. Here again with me, Crusader, and Danny. And that's at 8 o'clock Eastern on a fix. And tomorrow we have if we go live, it's the Infinite Podcast, hosted by Risky for the Biscuit. There's myself, that Blue Number, and Spriggan, a.k.a. Dante Moody, at 8 o'clock Eastern as well. Central, obviously, 7. So, yeah, thank you guys. Come by and support us as you do, and we appreciate you guys. Honestly, truly, deeply. And I just want to throw out, we are now, I believe, 3 episodes away from 100. And I have a gaggle of great, well-known people coming through to celebrate with us for that. So stay tuned for that. Maybe I might do like a game giveaway or something for that, just to kind of christen it, right? Something nice. We'll see. But yeah, thank you all for coming through. Check us out and check out these good folks here, especially Dots and Crusader, and make sure you guys follow and support them in all their endeavors. More Warhammer pieces out there into the world. Yes. You all have a great night. See you guys.